Internet, hello and welcome to OKLCS Spring 2018 Diamond Capped Week 4. I'm Alex Agent A22 and I'm joined today by Riley Seegers, Funky Mama Seegers. You may recognize that name. We saw him earlier today in Gold Capped. He's going to be casting with me today. He is from Esports Association at the University of Oklahoma. Unfortunately, Benjamin could not be here to join us tonight. So, we got the next best guy, you know?
Not even the next best, like 4 down the
Yeah,
line.
but we're happy to have you here. Anything you want to say before we get started?
I'm pretty excited to be.
Yeah, all right. It's great to hear. So, we do have only 4 games of Diamond Cap for you tonight. Unfortunately, we could not get the Reign of Kings Oklahoma Diamond Rush game in. So, we'll go ahead and let you know that it was actually an upset win. Oklahoma Diamond Rush coming into this week 0-3 was able to take the victory over Reign of Kings in a 2-1 victory, resulting in their first victory in the OKLCS, and Reign of Kings falling to a 2-2 record going into week 5. So that is that. We'll say that now. We'll go ahead and let you know again at the end of the stream, just in case anyone wasn't here. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into our first game of the day, which is between Wadu Heck and OU Diamond. So we are in there. Wadu Heck coming into this one 2-1. OU Diamond coming in 1-2, trying to just hoping to see if they can even out their records. Let's see, Wadu Heck coming off of a win in week 3 over United as one. OU Diamond coming off of a loss in week 3 to Too Fast, Too Furious. As far as picks and bans go, it was okay. Wadu Heck banned away Aatrox, Akali, and Amumu in their first rotation of bans, and then OU Diamond banned away Alistair, Ari, and Zyra. And then on the other side, Zillion and Zed banned in the second rotation, and then Zoe and Ziggs banned away by OU Diamond. So, now we are oops, not the right button. Finally in the game.
It looks like those bans, they were trying to be a little bit cheeky. All A champions followed by all Z.
Minions have spawned.
Oh, okay, I get it. All right. Makes sense, I guess. Maybe just like, all right, we're throwing down the gauntlet. You guys can have whatever you want. We'll get whatever we want, and we'll see how it goes. So player 1, we noted last time actually. Player 1 is normally the jungler for Wadu Heck, but a lot of times he will end up swapping with BK just on a whim almost. So he did play top lane in this game. He's on the Yasuo. Really aggressive top laner. Also generally considered a counter pick to the Gnar picked up by Clockworker. Since you can just wind wall the boomerang and you don't get to pick it back up and you don't get the cooldown refunded.
And also, it's hard for the Gnar sometimes to escape from the Yasuo. Dash through the minions to get on top of him.
Dash through the minions. Close the gap pretty easily. You can't really abuse your range advantage as Gnar over Yasuo as effectively as against a lot of other tank top laners. Dazzle is going to land on a Yo-Fish, and they will punish it. That's whole! Almost picks up first blood just there, but player 1 now getting ganked by Ferris Bueller, but he's just walking down. BK's there to back him up, so they won't go for anything too aggressive. Oh, that was actually Ferris Bueller attempting a fade onto BK's blue buff. Get it? Oh no, he was not able to successfully steal away BK's blue buff.
He has a little disadvantage in the level now.
Oh yeah, big disadvantage. When you invade and you don't successfully steal away the buff or the camp or anything, you're missing out on time because you spent your time running through the river twice. And then you didn't get anything for it, and now that BK level 3 to Ferris Bueller's level 2 and very large CS discrepancy at this point in the game between the.
It could also attribute by the bottom lane of Wadu felt comfortable enough to go.
Oh,
for
hold
that
on a
very
second.
aggressive
Hold that
play.
thought. BK gonna miss the Arctic Assault onto a beast, but he will get the slow. One more auto will be a stun, but he can't go too far under tower. Close there. A noble effort from BK onto Aviz, but couldn't land the knock-up. Meant that gank was not even gonna successfully burn a summoner. See Aviz with the minion dematerializers. He hasn't used one of them yet, but it will assist it. Oh, BK found by Ferris Bueller. Gonna cancel away his recall. Clockworker. That's a drop into mini form again. Player 1 gonna jump through him a few times, gets the double hop. Just a short trade.
Thing I've noticed that's kind of changed, especially since stopwatches, how few stopwatches are actually showing up in the game.
Yeah.
You can see there's only 2 on the map right now, and they won't be active till 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's correct. A lot of times, if you went into the what is that tree?
Inspiration.
Yeah, a lot of times when you go into the inspiration tree, hold on a second, Dazzle lands on Naruto Torchic. They will get the Howling Gale into time for Miracle, but he's gonna continue. They flash forward, the Ignite comes down, first blood picked up for Weeaboof in time for Miracle in a 2v2 outplay. Gotta respect the Callista, and especially when the Dazzle lands, Tarak actually can do a lot of damage. Just getting that attack speed and the extra damage on his auto attacks every time he uses an ability.
Also, if he gets to proc press the attack, it's gonna make Ren do that much more damage on him.
Yeah. Rito Torchic and Yofish just getting outplayed 2v2. Good Dazzle comes in from Weeaboof. And this is the support who was landing every death sentence last week. Weeaboof definitely one of the supports to look out for here in Diamond. But yeah, when you go into the, oh golly, I've already forgotten. What tree is it?
Inspiration.
Inspiration. They nerfed it so you can't get both the boots and the stopwatch for free. So a lot of times it's not worth it to go for that anymore. There's a stun landing on a Ferris Bueller, but he will get the fear off. And Yofish is here. It's going to be a pick under... Oh, he fails the flash too. BK goes down. Aviz picks one up for himself. Gets that tier stacking already, and now he's got a lead over TF as this. Now Clockworker getting jumped on by player 1. He misses the knockup, and now he has to back away. Hyperproc one more for Clockworker. Now Aviz is feeling a lot more confident. He just hit the level 6 now. TF as this doesn't have the Rift Walk. Goes very dangerously low, but does not hold. He holds on to the flash. Now they're going to jump onto him because Ferris Bueller's here. They're going to get the fear off. Wind Wall is thrown out, but Clockworker is just going to auto him down. It will be a quick kill. They're trying to hand it off to Clockworker, but Ferris Bueller has to take it. Nice job. Ferris Bueller making a lot happen on the map early on, even after that failed invade. He's now caught up with BK thanks to catching him out in the jungle.
With that gank going, given Rise a whole bunch of confidence to a matchup against Acidin.
And now TF as this has hit his level 6 though, so it's going to be a little bit more dangerous and a little bit harder to go for ganks. Time for Miracle and Weeaboo continuing to play aggressive. Look at that CS discrepancy between Time for Miracle and Rito Torchic right now. Getting pretty close to doubling his opponent's CS.
Especially on the current version of Edge, it's so easy to get those last hits. Stack spears.
Ooh, he Rift Walks forward. Aviz gets a big shield off. Oh! Solo kill for Aviz. BK gonna try and get the revenge kill, and Weeaboo is here. He will give it up, trying to deny one more assist to the enemy support.
For him to go after that.
Yeah. He's just like, okay, I guess I'm dead. But wow, big play from the mid laner of OU Diamond. In spite of that, though, they are the ones with the 600 gold deficit. Big CS leads for player 1 over Clockworker, and more importantly, Time for Miracle over Rito Torchic. Now player 1 is just going to try and find Clockworker, doesn't land the knockup.
Pops away.
Now Dazzle going to come out. Another stun lands on Rito Torchic. They're going to continue going for this. The Howling Gale doesn't come out. Flash away from Rito Torchic, and Time for Miracle will be happy with that one. Doesn't overchase into the tower. Wow.
Even if you just the items, Callista's already got her boot dagger spot lanes.
Yeah.
She's not only increasing her dash range, she's also just got a lot more attack speed in general.
Yeah. Callista's really the only AD carry that really rushes those Berserker streams anymore, just because of the increased range you get from having tier 2 boots on Callista. But Ferris Bueller, on his way down, he's gonna run through, find a control ward, and say, I'll take that one. Especially with BK hanging around the bot side, they would definitely lose this 3v3 with how strong Time for Miracle is. As the Dazzle lands again, Ignite goes down onto Rito Torchic. Time for Miracle can't get in there, but BK coming around the side. Now V's trading onto TF as this, as they prepare for a dive onto the bottom lane. Glacial Prison lands, and that's going to be a dead Rito Torchic. Yofish doesn't even have his ultimate up. He's going to use the stopwatch to dodge the Fate's Call, and they will have to back away with that one. But Ferris Bueller just fearing up. BK on his way out. Nothing he can do in this situation. Dovefish needs to be careful lest he get dove as well. No stopwatch available and still no monsoon.
It was a good use of stopwatch though. Often I see people stopwatch just to die immediately after.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to waste that stopwatch. It's a very valuable tool that could save your life if you use it in the right situation. But if you're just going to die anyway, it's not really worth it to just waste 2 more seconds of the enemy's time. Holy cow, the discrepancy between Time for Miracle and Rito Torchic in this game right now is so staggering. Clockworker misses the Gnar, unfortunately, onto player 1 there. Now Ferris Bueller and Aviz at blue buff resetting. Player 1 got to go aggressive on the Clockworker. It's gonna get the knockup, the last breath to follow, and now Clockworker is in a bad spot. Windwall comes out, Clockworker doesn't have anything to hop on. He's gonna hop just to get the little distance, and player 1 will not chase. Willie for another knockup, 1 dash more, he gets in there, 1 more auto, will it be enough? Clockworker will go down, solo kill for player 1. Okay, so unfortunately for OU Diamond, they only have 1 winning lane now. Aviz over TF is this, but unfortunately, it's not a very big CS lead for him as opposed to compared to player 1 over Clockworker and Time for Miracle over Rito Torchic.
Still, a 20 CS lead's nothing to scoff at.
Definitely
especially
not.
10 minutes.
Yeah, and he's got the boots. He got the slightly magical boots for himself.
Finish that Rod of Ages. That'll start stacking up, giving additional scaling.
So you're an ADC. What is the when do you take press the attack? Do you take press the attack in Callista? Is that just what you do, or do you sometimes go with the fleet footwork on that champion?
I am more of the lethal tempo.
Oh,
because
really?
How many on Callista specifically?
Yeah.
Just because of how many spears you stacked up.
Yep.
But if you can have some pretty reliable lockdown on 2 switchy targets, such as Janna and Varus early game, the additional damage coming out of the end once you get the 3 stacks on press the attack can be absolutely devastating.
So lethal tempo is more what? Lethal tempo is that's really kind of the only ADC you can really viably take that Keystone on, yeah?
I would say for the most part right now, yes, because most ADs are just trying to survive the early game, so they're going with
fleet footwork.
Footwork and overheat.
Ooh, close on that one, but Ferris Bueller's now in a bad position. Glacial Prison will go wide. Ferris Bueller might just have to ult out of the pit. Yep, that's exactly what he does. Now Clockworker doesn't want to get jumped on here as player 1 will dash through him. The Torchic and Yo-Fish possibly about to get dove as the tower goes down in the mid. No! OU Diamond picks up tower first blood in the mid lane.
Just with all the
Just close. Time for Miracle and Weeaboo not able to leverage their lead to pick up tower first blood fast enough.
all the pressure that Ferris Bueller was putting mid lane early definitely turned into a very tangible advantage at about 12 minutes.
BK coming out, clearing some vision. Player 1 already has a Phantom Dancer and Clockworker still working towards the Frozen Mallet. It's going to be really hard for Clockworker to stick around in that top lane with the Phantom Dancer available for player 1. Gives him so much more dueling power. Dazzle not quite going to find Rito Torchic. Even if it had, however, Time for Miracle was a little bit farther back than he could have followed up onto Weeaboo's aggression. Now Clockworker trying to go aggressive onto player 1 because Ferris Bueller's here and Aviz is on the way in. They hop onto him. Looking for the Infinite Duress, though, which he doesn't have. I'm just kidding. But he will get the Gnar off, and there's the Wallop. Will stun him up. They chain CC him down, and they will pick up the kill. Now, they're using the Cosmic Radiance, looking for the dive, but the Monsoon will push him back away. Now, the invulnerability has gone down. Rito Torchic already used the Chain of Corruption, and Clockworker actually teleported in the back line, but he has no Gnar. They pull him out with the Fate's Call, looking for the slow, but PK is here. That's a good Dazzle onto Rito Torchic, and Rito Torchic goes down. Double teleports coming in from Aviz. The Clockworker gonna go down and Aviz has to back away. It's a 4v2 situation very quickly.
I actually thought it was really smart what Clockworker did right there. He pulled all of the enemy aggro away from the rest of his teammates so that both Ryze and Janna could get out safely.
Yeah, just gotta go down, die for the team to, you know, cut your losses. But Rito Torchic comes forward, gets caught by the Dazzle, and gets blown up for the 3rd time this game. 2-0-2 for Time for Miracle with a staggering 41 CS discrepancy. Now V's is going to come around, see if there's anything he can do, but Glacial Prison is available if BK wanted to just turn around for it. The Dazzle will miss if he's going to throw down some damage, but they will get the Glacial Prison onto Yofish, and Yofish has to get out of there. Flash is available, but he doesn't need it. Nicely done by Aviz to cover the escape of his support.
It's just so hard to try and steal a dragon, especially against a Calypso composition. How much damage?
Right, but Ferris Bueller, he knows that everyone's on the bottom side of the map. They're going to try and catch out Player 1. There's the Infinite Duress after the Fear, and it will be Player 1 going down again. Nicely done, Ferris Bueller. He says, I can't do anything about that dragon, but I can at least make a play on the other side of the map.
Sitting at 3-1, he's going to be a very big dog very quick.
Yep, Tiamat and the Skirmisher Saber. He's looking to try and duel onto one of the enemy players. Player 1 picks up the Cloak of Agility for some extra crit chance, doubled up by the Yasuo passive, of course. Building towards that Infinity Edge. We make the joke, Yasuo, you can feed as much as you want as long as you hit 2 items, and then you become useful again.
That's one of the benefits of scaling champions. And if you just absolutely pants off at the beginning, eventually you will be able to do damage.
Yeah. So Rift Herald actually taken away by OU Diamond, so they do have that in their back pocket, and they're even in towers, so in theory they should be looking pretty good going into this. Wow! Time for Miracle!
Wow.
Takes a lot of damage from Aviz, but Aviz out of mana. Yofish gonna try and chase him down, but it will get the heal from Weeaboof's Taric. Player 1 looking for the knockup on the Clockworker. Not gonna get baited in there. Clockworker very clearly got hit by that knockup, but Player 1 says, I smell something here. Now BK and Ferris Bueller walking past each other in the jungle. There will be the knockup onto Clockworker, but about to go Mega. Doesn't want to go aggressive onto a Gnar that's about to Gnar him into the wall.
That playful banter,
Spamming emotes. There's a good wall up from Clockworker, but he has to back away because BK's up there. Dazzle gonna miss onto the V's. Nice sidestep. He's gonna turn around some damage. Meanwhile, Clockworker did have to flash. Uh-oh, Fate's Call used! They will get the knockup. Realm Warp is gonna be channeled and Aviz. He can't get out. He has to flash away, but the Monsoon coming out. He gets a big shield. They will survive. Close there. Now, but Player 1 looking for a dive on the Clockworker as BK backs away. Actually, that's a lot of damage taken. Last breath will not, or the knockup will not land for the last breath. Now he's Clockworker gonna turn some damage back around. We'll get slowed up. I am surprised that Aviz lived there, honestly. The Blade of the Rune King finish for Time for Miracle had Yofish's Monsoon, and as well as the constant shields coming out from Aviz on this rise. You can definitely tell he knows how to play this champion. Been having some really good rise combo. Arito Torchic trying to hold up against TF as this, but he is a very behind ADC with a Ninja Tabis, and now TF is this, and BK going for the dive. He flashes away, but the Glacial Prison will land afterwards, and TF is this will just slowly chase him down as BK stands under tower, tanking it up. Will even eat the Chain of Corruption for him as well. Now Aviz has found TF is this, but I don't know if he wins this one straight up, especially not with Weeaboo coming around. BK on the backside, but Ferris Bueller's here as well. Gonna come from behind, gets the fear off onto only one, but they're surrounded by all of Wadu Hack. Shutdown goes over to Time for Miracle. Now Player 1 gets the last breath on the Clockworker. Will it be another solo kill? He's got enough minions. Betrayed by the minions for Clockworker. Wadu Heck just finding everything they need. Get a solo kill in the top lane and say surround Ferris Bueller and pick him off as he tries to cover Aviz.
Speaking of Aviz, you mentioned a little bit earlier that he obviously has a lot of experience on the champion. Do you think Ryze will be an incredibly viable champion after the nerfs, and especially the interaction between the Ryze ultimate
and the
Zhonya's
stopwatch?
Hourglass?
Holy cow! TF is this just blows up Yofish! What the world was that? Alright, there's a Dazzle gonna land onto Aviz. They get the stack into him. Ferris Bueller getting ready to go forward for it. They chain of corruption not available. That's a good fear, but they don't have the damage. GF as this comes forward, slows up everybody. BK trying to keep himself out of there, and they kill up Ferris Bueller. Teleport coming in from player 1, and Aviz is slowed. He's gonna get picked up. Time for Miracles on a rampage. Holy cow, Wadu heck.
A lot of these champions on OU Diamond just simply don't have the mobility to be able to deal with both the Kassadin and the Kalista constantly jumping in your face. In addition to the constant dashes from Yasuo and the Arctic Assault from Sejuani.
Yep. So for those of you who were not there when we first started, it is I, Alex, HNA22, casting here, along with Riley Seegers, Funky Mama Seegers from the Esports Association at the University of Oklahoma. We're happy to have him here. Give him some trying out with casting for OKLCS. Of course, Benjamin Beniona Morales, normally casting with us on Sunday, was not able to be here. He has some academic duties to take care of. But we're very happy to have Seegers, Funky Mama here with us.
Excited to be?
What were we talking? Oh, we were talking about Rise with Stopwatch before that whole series of events broke out. I feel as though that probably, like, it's a neat little trick you could do with Rise beforehand, but as far as the viability of the champion goes, I don't think that nerf in particular is gonna make or break the champion.
Okay.
Gonna try and he just breaks off BK's passive. Now Clockworker coming forward. He's about to go mega, jumping onto TF as this throws out the boulder. And everything's gonna slow down for a little bit. Mountain Drake is live. Wall is down as well now, so this could be the opportunity that OU Diamond is looking for. They know they've got a 4v4 situation. Arctic Assault from BK will get him out to safety.
Champion. Every single.
Mountain Drake started up by somebody, but nobody actually wants it. Time for Miracle, jumping onto Clockworker just for some damage. Gotta remember, there's no tower there. The Howling Gale is being charged up. The Wind Wall will be back available now. Glacial Prison goes straight down the middle, but the knockup will land, and that means Aviz gets knocked up by the last breath. The Monsoon being used to keep him away. That's a good fear, but the Chain of Corruption missed. Infinite threats on the player 1, first one to fall. But now time for Miracles here. The Fates Call will knock up 2 members. Teleport coming in from TF Business, and he's on a killing spree with the first Rift Walk. Rito Torching, slowed up by the Ren, caught by Kassadin. Arctic Assault, it will be a double kill for TF Business. Now Aviz on the run. They're gonna Rift Walk back onto him. Yellowfish is doing what he can, gives him some more shields. Howling Gale will not find anybody, and Aviz will be the next to fall. TF as this forces the flash away from Yellowfish, but he's got all the Rift Walks he needs. That's enough damage, and TF as this goes unstoppable. And time for Miracle, escorted out of the base by Weeaboof. Right, and unfortunately Clockworker without his teleport was unable to join his team for that fight. The most he can do now is pick up that tower in the outer top lane, but they're losing a lot for it. Lost the fight, lost the inner in the bottom lane. Now 4 towers to 2 and an 8k gold lead at 22 minutes in favor of Wadu Heck.
I find it ironic that whole started a fight over Mountain Drake, and after the clouds clear, Mountain Drake is still alive.
Yeah, and it is very interesting that Clockworker has opted for the Mercury's Treads on this Gnar. If you ask me, yes, there is some CC to block from BK and from Weeaboof, but you're dealing with Yasuo. Ninja Tabi's was very effective against the champion. Kalista, Ninja Tabi's also pretty effective against the champion. They are both very auto attack heavy. And holy cow, this is the signature OU Diamond, going for the very early Baron as the enemy team has no vision around it. They're gonna take it pretty fast with the help of the Rise. Oh, TF is this! Goes dominating, just assassinates Yellowfish in the middle of the team. Now Aviz, they secure the Baron, but Aviz is gonna be going very low. Infinite Duress being used, Chain of Corruption over the side, but Rita Torching about to get run down by player 1. Ferris Bueller getting onto time for Miracle. Chain of Corruption does land. The Fates Call will knock up 2 members as Ferris Bueller is trying to focus down time for Miracle. The Ren is not enough, and they will kill him off. Double kill for time for Miracle. And Ferris Bueller just left wondering why he couldn't damage Time for a Miracle, he just had so many shields and heals from Weeaboo and the Blade of the Rune King. Just ripping through the other two members of OU Diamond as Ferris Bueller sat there sort of impotently auto-attacking onto him.
Unfortunately, Rito Torchic just could not get into that fight. He was able to throw
Glacial Prison gonna land on the Clockworker. The Dazzle will chain stun him up. He's gonna try and hop out. Yofish trying to cover him out of there. Monsoon is available, but they get the two-man last breath, and Yofish goes down without using his ultimate yet again. Clockworker, the next one to fall. The flash away from Rito Torchic, but he's just gonna get chased down. Player 1 and Weeaboo in the base. Ferris Bueller fears him up. Aviz is back online, and the win will not available. Player 1 will fall. Rito Torchic does still have the Baron as a result of that play from OU Diamond, but they're just losing all over the place on the map right now.
And as you can see, a lot of the CS discrepancy, especially the bot laner growing. That's at 50 CS.
Ferris Bueller gets a good two-man fear, but he's all of the rest of Wadu Heck. Aviz realizes I've bit off a little more than I can chew, trying to keep his shields up. TF as this gets in there. There's a big kill for him. Double kill goes over to the mid laner of Wadu Heck. He is not happy about that solo kill that happened earlier. And Rito Torchic on the run. TF as this just continues to chase him down. Now Rito Torchic, yeah, this is just going to be TF as this slowly finally getting onto him. One more Rift Walk. He doesn't have the mana. Rito Torchic trying to do what he can, but he can't do enough.
Now, it's interesting to see as we can. Rito Torchic just picked up Wit's End, which I think will be incredibly helpful against the burst of Kassadin and the damage coming from Citroën.
Yeah. And I mean, it will, but at this point in the game, though, I think it might be a little bit too late. They're so far behind. That's a good knock-up on the Clockworker, so he can't crunch onto him. The inhibitor tower will fall, but OU Diamond successfully defends the inhibitor. Wadu Heck gonna take the time to back away and pick up some, or spend some hard-earned gold, rather. 20 stacks on TF as this is Medjai's Soul Stealer now on this Kassadin. And I don't think that... I think once you get to this point, it's just so hard to come back on the side of OU Diamond. And now, speaking of Aviz, there's the good Glacial Prison. The Wind Wall will block up Aviz's combo. He's trying to get the Realm Warp out, but they have the damage and they've got the kill. That's a rough one.
Yeah. But it's kind of, as we were talking about earlier, in that exact same situation. If this last patch, maybe that Rise would have been able to get away.
Possibly, yeah. Ferris Bueller gonna fear them away to cover his own escape. Rito Torchic now has the 2 attack speed items, but he's very behind in terms of damage.
Pretty much every position is losing, not only in CS, but also their item counts are so down. I'm looking at a Rito Torchic sitting only at 2 items and boots, whereas across
3.5 for Time for a Miracle. And that Medjai's is just going to continue to put TF as this ahead. Nice Rift Walk will dodge the Gnar stun. And here comes the Cosmic Radiance. Clockworker has bit off a little more than he can shoot. Ferris Bueller in the back line. The Monsoon will keep them alive for just barely. TF as this pops lasagnas. Now they jump onto Ferris Bueller. There's a good face call. Time for Miracle goes legendary. And he's untouched in the fight. The redemption coming down. BK is here. No Glacial Prison available, but he will find the slows. Ferris Bueller goes in the back, trying to do what he can, but he can't do enough. Double kill for Time for Miracle. He's just continuing to rip through the spears. That's another kill for BK. Clockworker will pick up the kill onto Time for Miracle, picks up the first death onto the AD carry of Wadu Heck, but the player 1 is now here, and he's ready. The Wind Wall goes out to stop Aviz. TF as this throws out some damage on the Clockworker. He's rooted in place by the Rune Prison. Aviz trying to cover Clockworker out. A little bit of a fragmented fight for Wadu Heck. Ooh, gets the Guardian Angel. Aviz flashes for TF as this Rift Walk will get him out to safety. The Wind Wall, is it available? He's going to jump in. Clockworker hops away. They got to try and 2v1 the situation. Misses the knockup on a stationary target. And Aviz will pick up the kill for that one.
Miss those shots. You just kind of know you got to just pump down a little bit and say, next time I'll make sure I don't miss the stationary target.
So... on this game, I think Ferris Bueller did a good job putting player 1 down. Player 1 is still, you know, overall doing the worst on his team. 6 of his team's 12 deaths. He's literally half of his team's death. But unfortunately, it was just a losing matchup. And bot lane, Time for Miracle and Weeaboo, these two, they performed amazingly well last week, and they have carried it over this week. Just absolutely dominating. And now Ferris Bueller gonna get jumped on by Time for Miracle. And BK on the other side, there's no escape for the Warwick unless he ults out, which he probably will have to do here. He flashes away from the Glacial Prison. Doesn't want to use his ultimate until he absolutely has to. There's the stun gonna land, but here comes the rest of OU Diamond. There's the Realm Warp in, and they've actually turned it around to kill off BK.
But if you look, they committed so much bot, you can see Cassidy in the top lane.
Fuck. Trying to deal with player 1, and TF is this. They're gonna look for that dragon. The Infernal falls in favor of Wadu Heck. Now you gotta worry about TF is this. Oh, we've seen that one before! Yofish dies yet again! TF is this just blows him to bits. 25 stacks on Medjai's Soul Stealer. Wow, okay. That just seems really unfun.
This is the type of game where Janna just does not get to play. She's simply too squishy to deal with all of those champions diving in.
Oh my. So, what are they looking to do? The inhibitor is down for Wadu Heck in the mid lane. They're trying to crack the other 2 lanes. Baron spawning in 10 seconds. If you remember, OU Diamond are the ones who picked up the first Baron with a sneaky play as Wadu Heck went for the dragon on the other side of the map.
As you can see, so much of the topside jungle is just completely mined for OU
Dark
Diamond.
on both sides, you're right. Right, so Time for Miracle says, okay, forget it, this is the one we're starting with. If they get enough Ren stacks in here, that's gonna be impossible for Ferris Bueller to go for a Miracle steal. Ferris Bueller's not even there, and Yofish dies yet again! TF as this just jumps all over it. Chain of Corruption used, but the Stopwatch, or the Zonius will be used, and they all jump over the wall insanely well together! TF Business continues to chase forward. He just ripped walking all over the place. Abyss turning it back around onto him. The redemption gonna come down for Wadu Heck. Top them all up as they continue to push in. That was really scary, actually. All of Wadu Heck jump over the side of the Baron pit at the same time. They say, okay, forget the Baron. We're going for the kills. They pick up the Baron anyway.
Looking like there's Ferris Bueller and Abyss against the world.
Yep, and it will be Wadu Heck. They are going to take down the Nexus towers so fast. They're going to get the Nexus, and they will take down OU Diamond. Nicely done by Wadu Heck, honestly. Just Time for Miracle and Weeaboof getting themselves ahead so early on. They really kept down Rito Torchic, who, if you've watched a lot of OU Diamond's play, a lot of their games focus on Rito Torchic hyper carrying with the help of his team, and they just put him down.
And no, it wasn't even that they put a whole bunch of pressure bot so many times. It was just the Callisto Eric just jumping on them and killing them.
Yep. All right, so that will be Wadu Heck taking down OU Diamond on the first game of the night. We have 3 more games of Diamond for you here in just a bit, but we are going to take a short break. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Internet, hello and welcome back to OKLCS Spring 2018 Diamond Capped Week 4. We just saw Wadu Heck take down OU Diamond in pretty good game. Very strong showing from the bot lane and the mid lane in particular. TF is this, Time for Miracle, and Weeaboof. Weeaboof definitely one of the supports to look out for here in Diamond Cat. But that was then. This is now. We are going to get into our second game of the night, which is between Sky Zero and Too Fast, Too Furious. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into it. It is, of course, Sky Zero on the blue side. They are coming in 3-0 into Week 4 up against Too Fast, Too Furious coming in 1-2. And if we look at the bans, we do have... This is not the right game. I did not pull it up. Give me a second. But in any case, if you want to talk about something while I'm doing this, go.
So as you can see, there's a Poppy jungle. How do you think that would work?
Well, okay, so if you ask me my opinion of Poppy Jungle, I think Poppy Jungle is very, 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 very situational.
Okay.
And it's good in those situations and bad in all others. Poppy doesn't actually have too bad of a clear because of Hammer Shock doing a lot of damage, and especially good against Raptors, because like 1 or 2 Hammer Shocks will actually just kill the Raptors entirely.
One thing I'm looking at is especially how it'll fare into the Jarvan 4, because with her push, she should theoretically be able to push J4 into his own ultimate.
Yeah, not only that, but you can also block the Flag and Drag using the Steadfast Presence.
Exactly.
You can also block Hook Shot. You can block Justice Punch from Galio. So I think, again, everyone knows it's me there. I'm the Braum. But I think it was a good pick in this situation. Anyway, going over the picks and bans, on the blue side, Sky Zero banned away Zoe, Skarner, and Alistair on the side of away from Too Fast, Too Furious. Too Fast, Too Furious bans away Jace, Azir, and Shen. And then in the second rotation of bans, Orianna and Janna taken away by Sky Zero, and Tristana and Xayah taken away by Too Fast, Too Furious.
Another thing I'm definitely noticing on the blue side is the Galio combo with both the Camille ultimate and the J4 ultimate should lead to some very reliable lockdown.
Galio ultimate landing.
What's it called? The Thunderdome combo?
The Thunder. Alright, Hail of Arrows just going to come across onto the bot lane of Too Fast, Too Furious. He is actually going to hit level 2 first over General Hannibal Barca. Will mean that he's going to start continuing to trade onto him with the W autos. Magic Damage Shield coming out. Almighty going to get a Justice Punch on the Chris Can't Miss, but he will take a Tower Shot for it. Now Weenie takes the Arcane Comment, comes out at the lesser end of that trade. We'll have the Doran Shield and some potions to chug through. They're just going to generally be pretty quiet for the beginning of this game. Except for the fact that Seismic is coming around for a gank at level 2. They're going to get the Q onto Katachi. He flashes for the stun! Gets him into the wall. The concussive blows. Will it be enough? One more auto. First blood goes over to Seismic. Now they caught Randy Newman with the stun. It will just be 1 kill, but Seismic with a very early level 2 gank secures a kill into Katachi as well as both of his summoners.
Overall, I'd just say very well played by the Poppy there with the flash to make sure that she got that guaranteed stun onto the Varus.
But the Unreal Obama going to come for Chris Can't Miss on the other side. He did steal away the red buff knowing that Seismic was on the bottom side of the map during all that, and does successfully burn the flash away from Chris Can't Miss. General Hannibal Barca going to jump onto Ween. Why does Camille have Relic Shield? So, to be honest with you, I don't know the reasoning behind it. But I do know it's not something that's all that unheard of.
A lot has to do with when you're playing a lane like this and you can get quite a bit of poke in onto the Malphite. It's a way to maximize your gold efficiency, because even though they buffed
because it gives you Bandit.
They nerfed the healing on Relic Shield. It still does have the Bandit passive, giving you, I believe it's 10 gold
every time you
each
auto.
proc.
Yeah. And also, I guess in theory, the Unreal Obama, every time he ganks, you can just give him some free sustain and some free gold. Double up on each of those minions that goes down while he's up there.
No, it's really common on a lot of Gangplank builds.
Oh, really? Okay. Top lane is probably my worst lane. So, well, I mean, outside of ADC. I'm like literally the worst ADC.
I believe.
All right, General Hannibal Barca, level 5 to Weenie's level 3. I wonder what happened there. Does hit level 4 now.
Look at this.
I didn't see what happened top lane, but Weenie somehow 2 levels down to General Hannibal Barca.
If you look at the CS2, 9 CS up right now. However, there is a big wave
Yeah,
crashing.
there's a very large
so
wave Weenie about to pick up here under tower. All right. Biscuit does have the Tear of the Goddess finished off. He'll pick up CS lead as the wave crashes towards him. It's really not what you would normally expect. Varus is generally a very strong ADC in lane. Oh, Weenie about to get solo killed by General Hannibal Barca. Flashes away, good flash, and General Hannibal Barca tries to flash follow.
it almost
I
looked
think
as
he
though
missed his W.
it almost
flash.
looked like she was trying to flash W, and
The Seismic Shard will slow up General Hannibal Barca. Now Seismic is here, and no flash. You just saw him burn it, and he's going to get stunned into the wall. Steadfast Presence will prevent the hook shot from escaping. Another kill picked up by Seismic for Too Fast, Too Furious.
fortunately, even when you burn your flash in an attempt to be aggressive, it is still a burnt flash and can be taken advantage of.
Yeah, nicely done by Seismic to be in the top lane as that happened.
Pretty sizable CS lead going on down in the bot lane.
Biscuit, a good job picking up all that CS. They do have the Unreal Obama in the bottom lane, just hanging out, waiting for Too Fast, Too Furious to push out. But now he's backed away. He's heading back into his own jungle through the try.
And with such a mobile lane, it'd be pretty hard to gank by itself. Both of those champions have some form of mobility with Ezreal Arcane Shift and the stand beside Braum.
Yep. Not to mention, Katachi is very devoid of damage right now. Only was able to pick up boots because of how quickly he was forced back. Now let's talk about the mid lane, because Vigar versus Galio. Interesting match. I don't know what to say about this one. As far as the scaling goes, Galio in general falls off compared to a lot of mid laners.
It just seems to me that it'll be who can play best to their win conditions. Can the blue side really use the combinations with Galio and J4 and Galio and Camille, or are they just gonna let this Veigar
Scale up.
scale up to infinity?
Hook shot. Looking for something there, but Weenie holds on to the unstoppable force. But yeah, Vigar eventually, if he's fast enough, he could blow somebody up, like Katachi's Varus, before they can get the hero's entrance damage reduction onto him. They're gonna hookshot onto Weenie, just giving him the Arcane Comet. Now they're stealing away the blue buff because they know Seismic is there, but Seismic wisely going for the enemy blue buff. So they'll trade those buffs away. It's a big CS lead for the Unreal Obama over Seismic due to how much he invested for that early level 2 gank. That is resulting as well with Unreal Obama going level 6 compared to Seismic only level 5 at this time. They're gonna calm down. Almighty caught in the baby cage. Seismic is he's just zoning General Hannibal. Oh, that was a good Hextech Ultimatum to dodge the unstoppable force, but they will get him into the wall anyways, and we will walk away with that one. Nicely played by General Hannibal Barca. Used the Hextech Ultimatum to actually dodge the unstoppable force, but still goes down. It's a 2v1 situation.
When you just got those two meatballs, both of whom can do quite a bit of damage, charging up at you in the top lane, no matter how mechanically skilled you are, sometimes you're just gonna go down.
Yeah. And, you know, they've gone, Weenie has gone for a very aggressive build. Oh, that's a good Event Horizon. If Agent A2 comes in here, the concussive blows will stun him up. They're just gonna let him get out of there with that one, just forcing him out of lane and his flash. So the bottom lane of Too Fast, Too Furious making a roam up, forcing away Almighty.
As you can see, Ezreal's now got the Sheen as well, so he's going to be doing a fair amount of
Sizable
damage with
General
those
Hannibal
Qs.
Barca found by Seismic, but the hook shot blocked yet again by the steadfast presence. They're looking to find him. Weenie does not have the unstoppable force. Seismic Shard will be available. They're going to slow him up, but here comes the rest of them. Almighty comes in with the hero's entrance. They get a good two-man knockup, but Chris can't miss on the other side. General Hannibal Barca takes the primordial burst, and Weenie's going to fall to the hook shot. General Hannibal Barca will die to the baleful strike, and Seismic flashes away. So it will be just a 1-for-1 at the end of the day. Both top laners falling in that fight. Now the Dazzle going to be dodged away by the stand behind me to the minion. And yeah, Weenie's gone for a very early aggressive Malphite build with the Sheen into the Iceborne Gauntlet, looking for more of the damage.
And
trying
also,
to duel onto General Hannibal Barca.
it also provides quite a bit of utility, especially the later the game goes, because of the passive. When you proc the Iceborne Gauntlet, it creates the slow field depending on the amount of armor you have.
Yeah.
Because of how much armor the Malphite passive gives him, it'll be creating a giant slow field.
And not only that, really, but also it amplifies your ability to push waves.
Exactly.
And General Hannibal Barca, he doesn't have a Tiamat yet, so he'll be the one getting shoved in by Weenie, oddly enough. So CS lead relatively stagnant for Biscuit. Weenie gonna find General Hannibal Barca stealing away his control ward. They're gonna try and fight onto each other. Hookshot comes out, but Weenie says nothing doing, just gonna continue to auto down onto him with the Sheen procs. Seismic Shard coming out, and General Hannibal Barca going closely low. The Unstoppable Force comes out. The Hextech Ultimatum will not do anything. It's a solo kill for Weenie in the top lane.
Unfortunately, he wasn't quite able to get the timing that he had gotten in that earlier gank.
Yeah.
And
just a little bit too close to see that one coming. Alright, but that will be Seismic showing in the top lane, so the Dragon started up by Sky Zero on the bottom side of the map. Will be the Ocean Drake falling in their favor.
I personally, playing Varus, I love having an Ocean Drake taken early, because since Varus is kind of this hybrid marksman caster champion, he spams out quite a few of his abilities, and getting the increased regen on his mana from the Ocean Drake would just make it so much easier as this game goes on.
As the lane phase drags on, Tower First Blood does fall in favor of Too Fast, Too Furious in that top lane, thanks to the advantage that Weenie had, and Seismic already being on the top side. Rift Herald started up, but Chris can't miss this. He's gonna face check into Almighty and the Unreal Obama. Justice Punch comes out. He's gonna use the stopwatch, but here comes Seismic and Weenie. They miss with the Keeper's Verdict, but they will successfully force them away from their mid laner. General Hannibal Barca is here. Nice use of stopwatch, and that's really when you want to use the stopwatch. When your team can come and cover your escape, or when it'll avoid a tower dive.
You're not just delaying your death for 2.5 seconds, you're
Yeah.
actually getting something beneficial off of it.
And Chris can't miss. His first item is that Abyssal Mask. Going for the tankier Vigar build up against Almighty's Galio.
It's actually, I would say, a pretty good move into the Galio itself, because it increases your AP output on champions that are close to you with the aura effect.
Yeah.
And since Galio is
Magic
going
damage amplification.
and since Galio is going to want to be right on top of those carries for Too Fast, Too Furious,
Yep.
it should hopefully give him a little bit of a boost into that matchup.
So the Unreal Obama, we've talked a lot about this, we've harped on it a lot, but a lot of junglers really like to take their own buffs. Don't want to give it over to their mid laners. The Unreal Obama saying, alright Almighty, you don't need this one, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna make a lot of ganks happen on this Jarvan. Just continuing to bully out General Hannibal Barca.
So as you can see, the Camille obviously has the Comet,
Yeah, Arcane Comet.
Arcane Comet, so every time she lands the what is it, tactical
Oh
sweep?
golly, I don't remember her W is such a weird name.
But it'll be getting some bonus damage by
Tactical sweep. Wow, nice John.
oh, I don't even play top lane. Getting some bonus damage on top of the
Oh,
Malphite.
Seismic is here. The Unreal Obama. There's a good steadfast presence. Will stop the flag and drag from the Unreal Obama. Seismic go. Oh, Chain of Corruption used. It is going to land onto him. They throw up the Unbreakable and the Glacial Fissure. Seismic knocks Katachi away. The Arcane shifts out. True Shot Barrage coming across. Exhaust onto the Unreal Obama. There's the Teleport coming in from both of them. Chris Can't Miss comes in. They knock away the Galio as soon as he gets in there. Almighty is going to get in. Chris Can't Miss isolated. He's caught in the middle of the enemy team. Randy Newman will fall, but it will be traded for Chris Can't Miss. Meanwhile, Weenie solos out General Hannibal Barca in the top lane. We don't get to see that one. Almighty goes in. AJ2 flashes out, throws up the Unbreakable. Flag and Drag knocks up 2. Seismic will fall. Biscuit is going to be going down as well. A triple kill for Katachi. And it's going to be Almighty continuing to chase. Justice Punch is not going to land. Stand behind me to the minion. We'll put enough distance between him to dodge the taunt.
Just seems like this team composition that Sky's put together is so great at enabling the Varus. They have not only so much peel, but they also have so much engage to where they're just giving this Varus time to output damage on top of the enemy team.
Yep. But at the end of the day, it's a 4 for 3 if you count Weenie soloing at General Hannibal Barca in the top lane. Or 4 for 2, I'm sorry. 4 for 2. And it will be towers being evened up by Sky Zero. So at the end of the day, Sky Zero up 400 gold over Too Fast, Too Furious. Seismic can secure himself the red buff. He's now still down a level compared to the Unreal Obama just because of the discrepancy between clear speed and how much attention Seismic has focused onto General Hannibal Barca. Event Horizon gonna be thrown down, catches Almighty, but not gonna find the stun. Not gonna find too much damage. 3 members. Oh, Chain of Corruption used onto Chris Can't Miss. That's a Unbreakable thrown up by Agent A2, and here's Weenie. There's Unstoppable Force onto 2. They get into Katachi. He's stunned up by the Event Horizon. Seismic gets in there, stuns up 1, and Katachi slowly getting soloed up by Weenie. The True Shot Barrage comes across, and the Unreal Obama has to flag and drag to safety. Almighty now getting forced away, and it will be a quick 1 for 0 in favor of Too Fast, Too Furious. The ADC just getting stunned up and taken down. Too Fast, Too Furious, focusing down onto that mid. There's Event Horizon, not going to find anybody. Almighty looking to clear out the waves with the Winds of War. Seismic, good! Steadfast Presence will stop 2, and there's the Glacial Fissure being used to disengage. Randy Newman goes down so low, but he's going to be able to survive.
It's just every time these two teams clash, you just have to pay attention to just how much CC. Of the 10 champions on this in this game, 9 of them have some form of hard CC.
Gonna find General Hannibal Barca yet again. He's gonna jump onto him. There's the Hextech Ultimatum, and Weenie's at half. He's trying to trade back in onto him, the attack speed debuff. He's gonna have the Iceborne Gauntlet. They will have to back away from one another. The tactical sweep being used, but here's Chris Can't Miss. Doesn't have the range. He scrambles a little bit there, but
I'd say he missed on that one.
Chris Can't Miss missed on that one. Too true. Alright, so another dragon being started up by Sky Zero, and it's going to be uncontested yet again. Too Fast, Too Furious not able to get into the area, and it will be secured. Double dragons go over to Sky Zero.
And with this Cloud Drake, as you can see, they've taken both the top tower and the bot lane tier 1 tower. This is just going to give them a little bit more move speed to be able to try and make those rotations and knock down both the tier 2s and the tier 1 mid tower.
State of the game, it's actually Too Fast, Too Furious, thanks to that tower lead that you have. It's their 1.6k gold in the lead. Almighty just using the Winds of War. The good wave clear on Gallia will be enough to push away the minion wave. So now the Event Horizon being thrown down to zone away all of Sky Zero, and they will secure the 3rd tower of the game, or 3rd outer tower for themselves, rather. Biscuit just continuously throwing out the Mystic shots, pushing some damage onto Sky Zero as they all back away. Head towards the bottom lane to deal with a very large wave that is accumulating.
As I kind of back off, I noticed that Biscuit has actually opted into the Trinity Force this game instead of the more common Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, that is strange. Wow, Weenie just winning out on those trades big time. It doesn't even look like General Hannibal Barca damages him.
Makes me wonder who the tank in the top lane truly is. So, kind of wondering, what are your opinions on the Iceborne Gauntlet Ezreal versus the Trinity Force?
To be honest with you, again, I'm not an ADC main. The Trinity Force is gonna be giving you, obviously it gives more damage. It gives you attack speed, it gives you a bigger Sheen proc. And
you also get the Rage passive from
and the
Phage.
Rage passive, of course. And I honestly think that Trinity Force makes sense this game. They're not really going to be effectively kiting out Camille and Jarvan anyway, so you might as well try and do more damage to them, and use the extra move speed from that from the Stinger in the Trinity Force to keep yourself away from the possibility of them ulting you with the Galio as best you can. Oh, Flash Event Horizon from Chris Can't Miss forces the flash away from Katachi in response. Dazzle gonna miss. It's gonna be another 5v5 here in the mid lane as soon as General Hannibal Barca gets here.
But yeah, I agree on the making sure you're putting out as much damage as possible, especially when you're playing against a champion like Camille.
The Unreal Bomber gets in, but the Steadfast Presence! The Cataclysm comes down, and they're gonna use the Hero's Entrance! Chris Can't Miss, they knock him away
Camille
with Keeper's Verdict, and now General Hannibal Barca onto Biscuit, but he's stunned up by the concussive blows, and he goes down! Now, Chris Can't Miss in trouble there. He's gonna throw it on the Event Horizon to keep him away. Katachi is caught with Seismic, knocking him into the wall. They kill off the AD carry. Flash top from Almighty will pick up Chris Can't Miss, but he's gonna trade his life for it. Hammer Shock, and Biscuit picks up the kill onto Almighty. Now the Unreal Bomber fails his flash over the wall. Gonna get Steadfast Presence knocked into the wall. It's gonna be another kill for Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah, with the Camille not really itemizing against a lot of the damage on Ezreal, she dived in on top of the Ezreal, and all four members from Sky just dived right on top of her, making her attempt to get in the back line not very effective.
Yeah. Too Fast, Too Furious on the red side, of course. Yeah, so Biscuit gets jumped on with the Hextech ultimatum from General Hannibal Barca, but the Unreal Obama and Almighty focus their ultimates onto Chris Can't Miss. As a result, 4 members of Too Fast, Too Furious turn and kill General Hannibal Barca to free Biscuit to continue fighting to continue putting out damage during the fight. And Katachi gets caught by a nice find by Seismic. Seismic just landing all of the stuns into the wall this game.
And he's having a great game. 5-1-3 on this Poppy.
Yeah. The Dead Man's Plate on top of the Cinder Hulk, and the Ninja Top is finished off. He is so strong. Very hard for anyone on Sky Zero to kill him. And yeah, Biscuit building towards the Blade of the Rune King. It's going to be probably the strongest that Ezreal will be at that point in the game when he's got those 3 items. Winsu's Rage Blade and Wit's End for Katachi, so not too far behind. Only about half, well, I mean, it is a half item discrepancy, but not as bad as we saw from the last game. Rico Torture is so far behind compared to
a whole item
Time
and a
for
half.
Miracle.
No flame.
But Weenie with the Sunfire Cape Iceborne Gauntlet, they really are not itemizing a lot of MR at all. They don't care about Almighty's damage output. They're just itemizing against Katachi, the Unreal Obama, and General Hannibal Barca, and it's proven to be very effective.
And really, some of the only true MR I can see on the side of Sky is that Wit's End, which builds from an Egatron Cloak. Katachi just trying to make sure that he can deal with all of the AoE really coming from Weenie and Chris Can't Miss.
Yeah, Weenie is now shoving in the bottom lane as General Hannibal Barca pushes in the mid lane. And everything will calm down. Everyone just sort of backs away. Too fast, too furious. Clearing out some vision around the Baron area. Weenie walking through the Baron area, or the Dragon area, and they're actually going to try and collapse onto Almighty, but Almighty actually ults out to safety.
Not so much a heroic entrance, but a
Heroic
cowardly exit.
The cowardly exit, yeah. Alright, so the Mountain Drake started up by Too Fast, Too Furious. They know that that big teamfight ultimate is down. They were winning teamfights in the first place, so uncontested on the side of Sky Zero. They're going to try and clear out some vision around the Baron area while all of them are down there.
I think moving farther and farther into this game, the Mountain Drake is just going to make it so easy to start getting these objectives, which sometimes can get pretty difficult to really crack the base. But that additional true damage onto both Baron and these towers will make sieges even more.
Dazzle gonna miss. The Mystic Shot actually broke Almighty's Banshee's Veil, so that is down. The Event Horizon dropped. Almighty gonna try and clear out some vision, or the minion waves, but the Unbreakable will stop the Winds of War, but they're using the Chain of Corruption. Another Steadfast Presence stops the Justice Punch from getting in. Unstoppable Force from Weenie, but he's already down. They get the shutdown onto Weenie. They knock him away with the Keeper's Verdict, and now Too Fast, Too Furious on the run out.
Unfortunately, Katachi wasn't really affected by the Taric ultimate, so he didn't really have the confidence to be able to try and put any more damage at the tail end of that fight.
Yeah. Good Chain of Corruption onto Weenie as he picked up Tower aggro with his Sunfire Cape, I think. That's what I imagine happened there. So he got chunked down really low, had a lot of DPS from Sky Zero on him in the first place. So by the time he's able to use the Unstoppable Force, he goes down very quickly.
Well,
Too Fast, Too Furious not able to follow.
And also, if you look at Katachi's build with Ginsu's and Wits End, that's a lot of on-hit magic damage
Yeah.
in addition to just general the percent health magic damage in Varus' kit. So
Shreds through a lot of that full armor build that Weenie does have, you're right.
exactly. It looks like Seismic's trying to take care of this, so looks like he's building into a locket.
Ooh, yeah, a locket for that jungle Poppy.
Which will offer some additional magic resist, but also just some general
The big shield.
the big shields for the rest of the team. Keep the Vagar and the Ezreal safe.
So, Too Fast, Too Furious once again fighting over vision in the Baron area. Gonna clear out a lot of these wards. Oh, and General Hannibal Barker jumping onto Chris can't miss. The Event Horizon dropped, the teleport coming in from Weenie, and it will be used there. So they won't get any refunds on that one. They hook shot out to safety, looking for Katachi and Randy Newman. Flash! Good flash from Katachi will stop him from getting caught by the Unstoppable Force, but they will focus down Randy Newman in the meanwhile. There's the concussive blow stun, and they will pick up the kill. Support's paying the price for the AD carry. Don't I know it? Alright, so they are actually just going to tank up this inhibitor tower. They feel confident in this one as the wave is going to get in there. The Demolish will not be used, but to be careful, Weenie does not have the Unstoppable Force, but the inhibitor tower is already down. General Hannibal Barker getting forced away. Tachi trying to poke them all out of there. They're all actually chunked pretty low. The Unreal Obama looking for an engage, possibly here. A big wave being pinged out by Too Fast, Too Furious in the top lane that they have to go deal with here fairly soon.
So it looks like Itachi, he's got two long swords, possibly building into a Bork, third item.
Yeah, I think it... Let's see, what can two longswords build into? Obviously, any lethality item. I don't see that as being likely, but it is a possibility.
It builds into Bilgewater Cutlass.
Yeah, so Blade of the Rune King, like you were saying. It could be Last Whisper. One of them goes into Last Whisper. He actually sells the second one. He sold the second one.
It's not a very gold efficient move.
Yeah.
But I'm rising even more towards that magic resist, like we said.
Yeah, Negatron. Null Magic Mantle. What could he be building with that?
Potentially Maw of Malmortius, because it'll build into a Hex Drinker.
Oh, okay. I see. So really just trying to avoid getting blown up by Weenie and Chris Can't Miss's magic damage more than anything. the Blade of the Rune King is finished for Biscuit's Ezreal, so he is at that strong point as far as Ezreal goes. They really need to make use of this.
And especially just in comparison with how defensive Katachi's building, is he really giving up maybe too much DPS?
Yeah, it's going to be a long time before he's able to put out the damage that Forest is really known for. Weenie just bullying his way into this area. The Unreal Obama trying to play zone and get the good steadfast presence yet again. Seismic is on fire. The Keeper's Verdict canceled by the Hextech ultimatum. They get in with the hero's entrance, but they've actually killed off Chris Can't Miss, the first kill of the fight. Now Almighty in the back line. They get a good flag and drag in. Agent A2 is going to be going down for this one. True Shot Rush comes down, and Biscuit is now free in the fight. He goes forward, jumps in onto Almighty. Double kill for the 80 carry of Too Fast, Too Furious. Now the Unreal Obama flag and drag out to safety. It's actually a 2 for 4 in favor of Too Fast, Too Furious.
One thing that I particularly noticed about that fight is it almost looked like the Braum was able to cancel the second part of Galio's ultimate, so he was able to get the damage reduction, but I didn't see him come smashing down like we see in so many of the fights so far.
Yeah, and they're looking to try and push down a Nexus Tower. Weenie and Biscuit trying to just throw down Mystic Shots, get the damage off. They get a Nexus Tower, but they feel like they need to back off here because the rest of Sky Zero respawning shortly. So a big wave forcing in the top lane. Chris Can't Miss will go and deal with that one. A teleport behind the members
two
of them.
TPs.
That's 2 teleports coming in. There's Almighty looking for another steadfast presence. Will stop the Justice Punch from getting in. General Hannibal Barca actually now is taking a lot of damage, and he's gonna get the taunt. The shield will come out, and that will be the True Shot Barrage flying through the middle, and Weenie will fall.
Don't worry, Braum's there. Stand behind Braum.
Sky Zero now running away after they get a kill. They don't like that. They don't like their chances with General Hannibal Barca out of the fight and Chris Can't Miss and Biscuit at full health. And it's actually the Spectre's Cowl for Katachi's Varus out of that.
Now let's speculate what that could build into a Spirit Visage.
I think he's been getting really tired of dying to Weenie and Chris Can't Miss's magic damage. So yeah, so we were talking about sacrificing DPS. This is a very large sacrifice of DPS with the Spectre's Cowl build.
And
on
with
Katachi's
how
Varus.
tanky so many of the rest of the members are, so J4 went Cinderholt. Galio is just by nature a bit more of a tanky and harder to really deal with that DPS.
Yeah.
Tarek, a very tanky support. Really, some of the only real AD coming out of that Camille in the top lane. Is it really such a wise investment to cut off so much of that DPS coming from the on-hit?
Especially with the fact that, like you were saying, there's not a whole lot of sustained damage on the side of Sky Zero outside of this Varus, and you're staring down a full tank Poppy and a full tank Malphite. I don't think that Sky Zero actually have the damage in their champions right now to kill Weenie or Seismic. But Sky Zero, they will continue to push out waves. They're still dealing with that added pressure from the inhib in the mid lane.
Picked up another long sword.
Too Fast, Too Furious starting to posture around the Baron, successfully clearing out vision, but the Scuttle Crab in possession of the Sky Zero.
There is still one ward on top of the Baron, it looks like.
Yeah, the Troll
just
will
got
be
cleared
disabling that one. Dude, they do know there's a ward right there, but they can't actually clear it out. And it's actually started up by Too Fast, Too Furious. They will have decent DPS on this one with Ezreal and Vigar continuing to throw out abilities, but Sky Zero do know what's happening. Looks like they need to back out here. There's a taunt coming in from Almighty onto 2. Chain of Corruption will land onto Chris Can't Miss, but there's Weenie going into the backline. Katachi gets the hero's entrance, but the front line going in. Cosmic Radiance will come out, and Seismic will fall, as will Biscuit. Biscuit actually died to General Hannibal Barca. The Event Horizon coming out. Weenie gets onto it, and they kill off the Unreal Obama, and he will get focused down. They kill him off. Katachi, or Chris Can't Miss and HNA2 on the run out, but Randy Newman gets sniped down by the Dark Matter out of Fog of War. But look at that! Look at the minions! The minions are in the base of Sky Zero, and they get onto Katachi Event Horizon. Will keep him in place. There's the Unbreakable being used to block up all the damage, and now General Hannibal Barca goes in with a hook shot. Exhaust goes down, and they will be able to back away from this one, but they're just stalling. They're stalling so that the minions can get the base. Almighty successfully gets his recall up, but Chris Camus is going to stop General Hannibal Barca's.
Galio got back.
Yeah,
Starting
Galio
some
got
of that
back, but the
wave
tower
clear.
fell! No Nexus towers for Sky Zero!
Overall, just even though that fight on the side of Too Fast, Too Furious seemed a little disorganized, not really knowing where best to focus, at the end they realized they had to stop those bases and let the Winions do their work.
Yeah. Now Chris can't miss Abyssal Mask, Rabadon's Death Cap, and Void Stab. He's putting out very respectable damage. It's quiet damage. You don't really see what's happening until the Primordial Burst comes and you lose your ADC and half HP. Well, Nekka's not half HP considering he's got a Spectre's Cowl, but
On top of Wit's End, which builds out of that, as we talked about earlier, the Negatron Cloak. Not even just no Magic Mantle, but the full
the
Negatron.
inhibitor has respawned for Sky Zero, but Katachi is very far forward. Chain of Corruption used, but he gets caught! There's the knock into the wall. True Shot Rush comes out. Biscuit gets jumped on by the Unreal Obama, but he's all alone. They get in with the hook shot. Chris can't miss. It's just unloading damage. They use the Primordial Burst, and the Unreal Obama goes down, as does General Hannibal Barca. Winnie forcing onto Katachi in the 1v3, but that means Too Fast, Too Furious continue to push in.
See how low that Varus is. I'd say that Spectre's Cowl was obviously well worth. Otherwise, he might have fallen
He
down
does
there.
survive. Almighty is gonna. They're using the Cosmic Radiance and now Seismic backing away, but they're just trying to stop them from getting onto the Nexus. No Nexus towers. They stun up one. Almighty gonna go down, but they lose. Chris can't miss, but it's not gonna matter. Too Fast, Too Furious will hand Sky Zero their first defeat in OKLCS Spring.
Overall, I just have to say they Too Fast, Too Furious just played this very well, knowing what they needed to do, and
You say they played this game fast and.
it was too fast and too furious for Sky to keep up with.
Yeah. All right. So Sky Zero will not be progressing to Week 5 undefeated. The only other team that is undefeated coming into Week 4 is Apache. We'll see whether they can go into Week 5 undefeated later on today. But until then, we're going to take a short break. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Internet, hello and welcome back to OKLCS Spring 2018. We just saw Too Fast, Too Furious take down Sky Zero for their for Sky Zero's first loss come in the OKLCS Spring 2018 split. But that was then, this is now. We're going to go ahead and jump into the next game of the night, which is between Landsneck and Gecko Slammer Armageddon. The battle of, wait, are they both amphibians? Or are snakes and snakes?
Reptiles.
They're both reptiles, right, right. I know biology. In any case, it is Sneck on the blue side up against GSM on the red side. Bans this game. Tom Kench, Sejuani, and Jace banned away by Sneck away from GSM. They banned away. GSM on the other side banned away Tristana, Braum, and Jinx. And then in the second round of bans, Zaya and Gangplank taken away. Shen and Poppy taken away from Sneck by GSM.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Alright, so see how this goes.
One thing that I noticed just straight off the back is, especially looking at Landsneck, how big of a front line they're going to have with the Cho'Gath, the Gragas, and the Alistar. With such an immobile champion like Varus behind them, they should just have a really good way to peel for their damage dealers in this match.
Yep. We'll see. It is the same ADC setup.
Minions have spawned.
Varus and Ezreal. Well, see if Karamat on this Varus is able to put out some of that DPS that we were talking about in the last game.
Or maybe he'll build Spectre's Cowl.
I don't know. I feel like the Spectre's Cowl was, you have to survive in order to put out damage, and Katachi was able to survive thanks to that extra magic resist in the last fight, but probably just a little bit too late. Alright, so Sci-Fi starting off on the bottom side of the map on the red buff, Shaq Daddy mirroring him on the blue buff on the opposite side. Both bot lanes gonna hand off a leash. And they'll just sort of have this game be a little bit slower. No level 2 ganks coming out from this one. Good voice on the Talia. Trading onto Jack with the summon Airy on Talia. I think that's probably really the best keystone you can take on Talia, even though just because her kit has negative synergy with Arcane Comet since you knock them away from it. And then Electrocute, just generally not that great on a lot of champions.
Especially with the change from Thunderlord's Decree, where it's not just 3 instances
yeah, you can't
of
just
damage.
Get it. Oh, Tien-sama, nice arcane shit. We'll dodge the combo from PB Doughboy.
But yeah, like we were saying, since it's not just 3 instances of damage, but unique sources of damage, it makes it harder for Talia to really be able to...
You can't just throw out the threaded volley and get it insta-proc.
Exactly.
So Shaq Daddy gonna smite away his red buff. Is a little bit behind in terms of clear compared to Sci-Fi, who is now finishing off the Gromp. You see he's 1 camp up, the 4 CS. Things will be quiet.
Pretty calm.
Jack Love's Lane getting pushed in by Clutch. Honestly, not all that surprising. Sion is one of those tanks that does really well in tank matchups, that also has a lot of pushing power with the AoE from Decimating Smash and, of course, the Soul Furnace shield exploding. And the Roar of the Slayer, really just like throwing the minions through each other.
Exactly. Oh, that's a really interesting interaction. Actually, the Cho'Gath was able to silence the Decimating Smash during the windup.
Unfortunately, it's still a lesser trade for Jack Love's Lamp. The Arcane Comet for Clutch as well. Does whenever it gets a knockup or it gets a slow with the Roar of the Slayer, that Arcane Comet will come across basically undodgeable due to the CC from his abilities.
Even though that Cho'Gath took quite a bit of damage though with his passive healing up and still staying relatively healthy in this lane.
So you see how annoying it is to play against the Scion with the Roar of the Slayer just constantly coming out. The Arcane Comet proccing, Rupture gonna be used. Doesn't quite catch Clutch. We'll just watch the tanks fight a little bit in the top lane. Wow, good knockup, and another Arcane Comet comes out. Alright, so let's look at the comps as a whole. They've got Zac Oriana. It's already a very scary combination.
In
But-
addition with the Scion.
Yeah, and the Scion coming with the Unstoppable Onslaught could potentially be yet another one. But on the other side, though, with Gragas and Alistar, it can be very easy for them to interrupt the Elastic Slingshot coming in from Sci-Fi and PB Doughboy, knocking Shaq Daddy out.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons that I think that Ezreal was a really intelligent pickup here, because with how much dive they have with the Gragas body slamming forward and the Alistar headbutting forward, you know, Tien Sama obviously is a very skilled mechanical player, and we've already seen a few times if he can hit those arcane shifts, it will be able to keep him very safe as he has these tanks trying to come after him.
Yep. Alright, so Karamat and PB Doughboy trying to freeze this wave close to their tower. Pings being spammed in the bottom lane. I figured they knew Tien Sama and Airy Panda had recalled, but they just want to make sure that they're not roaming into that mid lane to try and gank onto Echoed Voice. Cull picked up for Tien Sama on his recall after, as well as the Tear of the Goddess, so we'll have that stacking up rather.
Well, and with how passive these first 6 minutes of the game have been, I think Cole is a really good way to try and take advantage of relatively peaceful game that they've had throughout the map.
Sorry, I'm reading Twitch. Oh my god.
Oh, Twitch.
Alright. So what's happening in this game? I'm losing track of myself here. Jack is gonna get taken out by another combo from Clutch. Nice read by Clutch actually there, where he used the Q early to avoid getting silenced.
However, with the doubled Null Magic Mantle picked up,
It's really hard for him to do a whole lot, yeah. And that's going to be especially effective in this game. The magic resist is going to be especially effective in this game because of, you know, Varus building a lot of that magic damage with the on-hit build, Guinsoo's Rageblade, Wit's End. He might want to go towards Blade of the Rune King, or maybe even transition into a little bit of crit. Seen a lot of LCS Varus. They go for the Guinsoo's early on, but they will build towards crit after the Runon's Hurricane.
transition
with the
into
Infinity Edge,
Essence
yeah.
Reaver. I also think Essence Reaver on Varus is a really intelligent buy, not so much in this game, but in compositions where you don't have a lot of engage and you really need to use the Varus ultimate.
Yeah, where the Chain of Corruption is really your only form of effective. Thankfully, they do have Alistar and Gragas in this game, so very unlikely they'll go for the Essence Reaper in this situation.
If he does, though, you know, Chain of Corruption can also be a fantastic source of self-peel, which versus the Zac and against the
Of
Scion.
course, you do have to avoid getting hit by the slingshot to begin with, or else you're actually just gonna die.
Definitely.
It's like, oh, I got the Chain of Corruption. Doesn't help if I can't even cast it before my health bar gets zeroed out by
Exactly.
the slingshot and the shockwave from Jack. No ganks coming out yet from either Sci-Fi or Shaq Daddy, but Sci-Fi, he's got quite a sizable CS lead over Shaq Daddy.
He's also the first of the junglers to reach that critical level 6 mark,
Yeah.
which will make his gank potential just even more powerful.
Okay, so PB, we're gonna clear out some of the vision. Clutch gonna find some big CS numbers there. He's got now a 16 CS lead over 16. I'm bad at math. 17 CS lead over Jack Loves Lamb. As Echoed Voice is handed off his blue buff. We don't see this very often where the mid laner gets blue buff in Diamond Cap.
But yeah, as you can tell, so all 3 of the lanes are actually winning in CS for GSM.
Yep.
Oh,
Shockwave gonna be used, trying to catch out Echoed Voice. He's gonna
Summoner
burn the
heal.
Summoner heal.
But yeah, with a 13 CS, 12 CS lead in the bot lane, 15 CS lead in the mid lane, 13 in the 23. I can't. 23 CS lead in the top lane.
Clutch is trying to proxy, but Sci-Fi is actually here. They're going to look for the 2v1 here. He's going to flash away and use the Unstoppable Onslaught to get himself to safety. All right.
This game has been so passive. Tien Sama, who opted to take that Biscuits of Everlasting Will.
Oh, yeah.
He actually has 4 of them.
He hasn't used a single
he
one.
hasn't used
There's
a
no
single
aggression
one.
in this game right now. Nobody's trying to do anything. Clutch is just being annoyingly pushy top lane, forcing Jack to miss a lot of CS. Jack picks up the Spectre's Cowl and the Glacial Shroud. There's a good combo from PB Doughboy. Flash Chain of Corruption! And they're actually going to solo out Airy Panda for first blood in the 2v2. Now the Flash Belly Bump will kill off Tien Sama. Snack with a quick 2 kills. Wow. As we were saying, like, oh, okay, nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden, the aggressive play from the bot lane of Snack, followed up by Sci-Fi, will secure 2 kills right off the bat for Snack.
And that's one of the beauties of having a bottom lane that has multiple forms of engage. Even if the Nami or the Varus are able to escape the first form of engage, there's even more ways for them to be locked down.
Holy cow. Right, and Jack is starting to come out okay in these trades against Clutch. Infernal Dragon goes down in favor of Snek as well. Or the coming out. Will silence him up immediately, doesn't want to deal with that. Rupture gonna land as well. The Soul Furnace shield gonna be popped, or rather, taken out before he can pop it.
And unfortunately, no junglers headed up that way, so it's just gonna turn into a little bit of
the wet noodle fight.
the wet noodle fight.
Clutch looking for something in the mid lane, but is spotted out on a control ward. Doesn't have the Unstoppable Onslaught either, so none of that potentially running straight down the mid. So Airy Panda and Tien Sama walking up, clearing out the control ward that Snek had in the brush there. Jack is just gonna feast onto a minion, get those stacks stacking.
Now it's interesting that after picking what can be such a champion that has such fantastic ganks.
Jack is not only continue, sorry.
But after picking a champion that can have such fantastic ganks like Zach, really he's been fairly passive, just kind of conforming to the pace of the game.
A little bit quiet from Shaq Daddy's Zach. Of course, it is kind of hard to gank on Zach until you hit that really level 9. When you have the maxed out Elastic Slingshot, because you do get a lot of range as you rank that ability up. Just really couldn't find it, especially with the fact that all 3 lanes for Snek have been getting pushed into their towers. Only now are you seeing Karamat and PB Doughboy starting to push out because they have that advantage that after killing off Tien Sama and Airy Panda.
I think one thing that I think would be a very intelligent move to
Sci-Fi looking for a dive. He's spotted out on a ward, but gonna throw it on a ward for the teleport from Jack Love's name. Belly bump into the explosive cast. Knocks Airy Panda back towards the team, but she flashes out. PB Doughboy gonna flash for the combo. Jack is gonna follow it with the rupture, and it will be a kill for PB Doughboy. Nicely done by Snack to pick up yet another advantage, and they're sending more for GSM down, but it's too late. They've already picked up Tower First Blood and gotten out to safety. Snack continuing the aggression. They actually land a rupture onto Tien Sama. The silence will come out. He will just put down some damage. Gets a combo onto Shaq Daddy. The belly slam is going to come in, and they're slowing him up. The Chain of Corruption flashed away from, and Shaq Daddy will be able to Elastic Slingshot to safety. Clutch is going to get onto Jack. And back to the wet noodles.
During that dive, I think it was really intelligent that they decided once it was very clear that the Ezreal was going to be able to get out, they didn't hesitate to turn their attention towards the Nami, who distinctly does not have those guaranteed escapes.
Yeah. She did flash after the fact, but after getting knocked in by the explosive cast, you don't have enough distance and you just go down. Sci-Fi with a really nice combo where he belly slams straight into the explosive cast, not even a chance to flash in between those two abilities.
She did at least require the Alistar to flash in response, though, in order for him to get that additional knock-up. So, despite going 1 for 0 in the overall trade, it was a trade of 2 flashes for a teleport and flash on the Alistar.
Sci-Fi handing off yet another blue buff to Echoed Voice here in the mid lane. Do still see, and Karamat is slowly catching up in CS with Tien Sama, but still very large CS discrepancies for GSM in the other two lanes, the solo lane. Now, Sci-Fi trying to clear out the Rift Herald, but he's found by Shaq Daddy and Jack Jack. The ward in the back of the pit will spell the doom for the jungler of Snack. And now PB Doughboy and Karamat in a bad spot in the middle of 4 members of GSM. They gotta get out of here. Shaq Daddy looking for it. The True Shot Rush comes out from Tien Sama. Nice headbutt from PB Doughboy will keep Shaq Daddy away. And the Weaver's Wall from Echoed Voice will keep away Tien Sama and Airy Panda.
One thing you always have to consider when playing against a Taliyah comp is, even if you don't have the teleport advantage, you still have that semi-global.
Onto Tien Sama. And according to Twitch chat, we should be able to actually show with the Reign of Kings game against OG Oklahoma Diamond Rush.
Okay.
So, we will have that. So that's awesome.
Yay.
Glad that somebody on I'm glad that someone on one of the two teams was watching so that we were able to get the replay from them. So I think we'll go ahead and transition into that one directly after this game. We'll hold off on the Apache versus United as One series. Oh, and Sci-Fi Blast comes over the— Oh, nice! Belly bump onto 2 with the flash, and Airy Panda goes down.
And again, they're just utilizing that chain CC between the Gragas and the Chain of Corruption from the Varus, just making it a very reliable lockdown and making it impossible for that Nami to escape.
Beautiful play by Snack, but they're teleporting clutch in there. The unstoppable onslaught is available. Shaq Daddy gonna land the stretching strikes, headbutts him out, but they will eat it with PB Doughboy. Sci-Fi is here, gets a good 2-man knockout, the belly bump, pushes clutch away. Roar the Slayer slows up Sci-Fi, but they're trying to get onto PB Doughboy. He uses the stop push to dodge the True Shot Brush, but he's gonna get knocked out by the Destiny Smash. He's got the ultimate running, and now he's gonna make it out. Nicely done by the support of Snack.
Managed just with the last bit of his mana to be able to pop his ultimate to make sure he didn't go down to the numerous Qs thrown out by the Ezreal.
Yeah, really nicely done by PB Doughboy. A lot of instincts on the support player of Snack. Now Jack Loveland just looking to clear out some waves.
It's also incredibly telling. So he made sure he saved the headbutt until he made sure that the Zac would not be able to get the second part of stretching strikes onto the Varus as well. So making sure that
now they're looking for Jack. Jack, the rupture gonna land, silences him up, but the rest of GSM here, Jack doesn't want to go too deep. He just he feasted the Scuttle Crab. He feasted the Scuttle Crab to secure it for Snack, but that means he will not have it to secure the dragon, nor will he have it for the coming fight. Now Snack already started up the dragon. Clutch is about to have the unstoppable onslaught, but the Weaver's Wall has separated him from the rest of GSM. The Inferno Dragon, double Inferno picked up for Snack, and now they're able to walk it out. Clutch looking to try and continue, but they will back away.
Really intelligent use of that ultimate there by Echoed Voice.
Now Snack, they just rotate 4 members into the mid lane as Jack takes a recall. Push that wave in, send some people top lane, and let the rest of them recall.
If we look down at what Tien Sama is building on this Ezreal, this is similar to what happened last game, where he has decided to not follow what a lot of people are doing nowadays on Ezreal and building the Frozen Gauntlet, but he's going to keep the more traditional path of building Trinity Force.
Airy Panda and Tien Sama match the opposite bot lane here in the top lane, oddly enough. Echoed Voice going to be zoned away by the ball. The potential of the dive! Shockwave comes in! The Ignite will be enough, and Shaq Daddy says, moral support, guys.
this is partially the advantage you can get when you're 40 CS over your opponent. You just get more abilities, you get more AP, and you can go for that solo kill under the enemy turret.
Yeah. Jack just asserting some dominance in the mid lane. Explosive cast knocks away the minions. Jack is actually trying to teleport, but he's going to get interrupted by Clutch, and now Sci-Fi has to deal with it alone. But that's a good combo from PB Doughboy. Chain of Corruption, and they killed Airy Panda already. The stun comes through. Karamat exhausting onto Tien Sama. He flashes out to safety. PB Doughboy still wants it. He's looking for the combo. There he goes! PB Doughboy on a rampage. 402 is the support for Sneck. Shaq Daddy gets in with the elastic shot. He's going to knock him together with strikes. He's going to kidnap them both into the tower. PB Doughboy gets tower aggro. He's going to be able to walk it out with the aftershock resistances, and they kill off the passive, and they're going to look to see if they can end it all. One more auto. Will it be enough? Yes, it will. Karamat's on a killing spree for Sneck.
Unfortunately, he just did not have the damage to be able to take care of the duo lane. As they were trying to take that tower.
Yep. Doughboy on this Alistar is doing phenomenally. The Weaver's Wall being used. I'm not sure what that was aimed at. Perfectly honest with you. But Sneck are going to look to secure the Spinal Tower in the mid lane, and it will go down, but Echoed Voice might die for it. He gets pulled in with the Shockwave, and he will go down. Sneck with 2 towers to 0 still, though. Jackalop's Lamp pressuring in the bot lane, while that top lane tower is very close.
So, if we look, the Scion teleport is getting close to being back up. Yet, as we saw, the Cho'Gath teleport was cancelled earlier. So, if you were in this situation, how best do you think you would be trying to use when these teleports come up around Baron, which spawned a minute and a half ago?
Baron is live, you're right. And, you know, Clutch does have his teleport live, but he, for a while now, Jack has been slowly winning out in these sustained trades with Clutch, especially playing around that decimating smash. So it's hard for him to try and push out waves and then prepare for the teleport with his split push. It's not as though he'll ever die to Jack.
Exactly.
But it's kind of hard, you know? So it's kind of hard for GSM to try and make a play around the Baron, especially when, oh, the dual lane is winning for Sneck, but he flashes away. Chain of Corruption used on the Shaq Daddy, and they kill off the jungler. Now that might be the go signal for Sneck. They just killed off the jungler. They have multiple members in the top lane.
This Varus is just so strong. He's already on 2 items, and with the Wit's End, he's going to have a bunch of magic resist to deal with both the Orianna and the Zac. So it's just going to become very hard for Zac to really be able to do much damage to this Varus.
Sneck, they don't feel confident enough going for that Baron yet, so they will just pick up the outer tower. Now 3 towers unanswered by GSM. Sneck now with a large lead, 3k just about. They will finally pick up the tower as I say it. Still a 2k gold lead in favor of Sneck, with the double Infernal adding to their scaling power. Right, so Sneck, they rotate into the mid lane. All 5 members stacked here. Looking to try and siege with the Varus and the Talia.
And they're pushing up, and part of the reason they can do that is if you look at how many control wards they have in the north side jungle. Yes, GSM does have a control ward in the Baron pit, but it's just going to be hard for them to really get in there just because of how many blue wards there are surrounding the pit.
Shaq Daddy now is trying to take the time to clear out the wards. Sneck kind of giving up that position just by going to the bottom side, but it is a dragon spawning in 45 seconds. They want to control that, as they believe that will be the next point of contest.
And not just any dragon, but it looks like a 3rd Infernal Dragon will be spawning.
That would be disaster for GSM to let Sneck have the 3rd Infernal Dragon.
As we were talking about, this Varus is already 4-0 and 4 with an additional stack of that Infernal Drake buff. He will just be an insane. He will be putting out an insane amount of DPS.
For the heavy on-hit build now. GSM do have the positional advantage over this Infernal Dragon. Jack spotted out on a ward. PB Doughboy looking for the engage. be fair, he is a lot tankier than Alistar ought to be at this point, just due to the 4 kills he's picked up. GSM, there's the unstoppable onslaught being used. It is going to land on the sci-fi. Elastic Slingshot will find Karamat, and then he absorbs the dual lane of Snack. Shockwave will eliminate Karamat from the map. Shutdown goes over to TN Sama. Jack looking to find Jack. The stopwatch will be used. He's going to have the feast. Exhaust goes down, but he can't get the kill. Aqua Prison lands. Elastic Slingshot will keep him in place, and Shaq Daddy will flash out the safety, gets the shield, and there's the Decimating Smash going to be used. Jack will finally get focused down. Airy Panda picks up the kill. Belly bump from Sci-Fi. They kill off Jack on the way out. And then Clutch will blast cone him into the Infernal Dragon pit. He flashes away from the Elastic Slingshot, and Sneck will come out 2 for 1. But it will be the Infernal Dragon going over to GSM.
So yeah, Shaq Daddy played that fight so well. As we've been talking about, this Varus is so fed and so strong. What you have to do is get him out of the fight as soon as possible. So he Elastic shot himself into the fight and scooped him up and
kidnaps Karamat and PB Doughboy went for the combo onto the Zac that was ulting, and as you know, he's uninterruptible during that ultimate. So ends up just making himself another kidnapped bot laner for Sneck.
And unfortunately, Echoed Voice just didn't look like the Taliyah was really able to put much damage into the fight. It's sometimes because of how the worked ground works with Taliyah Q. Sometimes it's hard to really be able to put out those full channels of threaded volley in those tight places in the jungle.
Not only that, but the adaptive helm for Clutch means that he can absorb threaded volleys so well. And PB Doughboy and Karamat showing in the bottom lane, GSM are clearing out vision on the Baron area. And they're actually just going to start it. 3 members of Sneck just showed bot. And GSM's turn to the Baron. They're running to it now, but it might be too late. That Baron is going down relatively quickly. GSM, there's the Weaver's Wall being used, and it's gone. GSM pick up the Baron. Okay. So, not the best macro from Sneck.
Yeah, and it was just all of the control that they had earlier around the top side of the map is conspicuously gone. You know, the GSM was able to get a control ward in that Baron pit, and it just seemed like Sneck was kind of caught with their pants down.
Yeah. Holy cow. Alright, so GSM, they're actually ahead in gold. That Baron gave them the gold they need, as well as obviously the CS discrepancies between Jack and Clutch, and Jack and Echoed Voice. But now Jack has to deal with Baron minions being pushed in by Clutch.
And this is how you deal with a comp that has 2 Infernal Drakes. You have to get your own Infernal Drake, but then also make sure you're not just bleeding gold, so that the compounding effect of that additional AD and AP doesn't become too much to handle.
Now they're looking for a 5-man dive onto Chekhov's Lamp, slowed up by the Stretching Strikes, but no target for the knockup. The rest of Sneck on the way in, but the tower is already gone, and now GSM, it's their time to try and push down some objectives.
You know, we talked about this earlier. This is one of Ezreal's strongest times, where he's completed Trinity Force, he's completed his Aura Mana, and he's almost to that Blade of the Ruined King. He is going to be putting out a lot of damage, especially on some of these high health tanks.
Yeah.
So they're being really smart and trying to fight right around now.
So GSM looking for the engage. Shaq Daddy just throwing, that's a good Aqua Prison onto Sci-Fi, but nothing to come of it. Will be Sneck try and they could potentially go for just a hard engage on a GSM if they find Jack out of position, but a tower goes down in favor of GSM in the top lane, and now all of a sudden towers are even for them, and they've got a 2.3k gold lead.
Unfortunately, there was no one up there to pick up the local gold, but of course they'll still benefit from the global gold given from towers falling.
All of a sudden, Sneck's they were playing nice and fast for a while there, but they falter there with showing 3 members bot while Baron is live, and GSM takes full advantage of it. And now, out of rotation once again, GSM escorts a very large Baron minion wave into the tower, and they pick up their 4th tower of the game.
it just seems as though Snack, they just kind of look a little lost as they don't entirely know where they need to be.
Yeah, Jack's still trying to deal with Clutch in the bottom side. But yeah, nothing realistically is going to happen there.
Especially since Scion's picked up that
Adaptive.
Warmogs.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just going to be healing off. He's just going to be healing right back up to full as
Any
soon
minor
as the trade
amounts
is
of
in.
damage are essentially nullified.
Irrelevant.
So now, both of these teams kind of slowing down a little bit. No engage. Both of these teams have a lot of engage on their teams with unstoppable onslaught from Clutch's Scion. Shaq Daddy just jumping in with the ball. And then, of course, on the other side, PB Doughboy and Sci-Fi with a lot of engage. Even Karamat, if you really saw it, could go for the Chain of Corruption.
With a team that has so much engage, though, I would feel that Karamat probably shouldn't be looking to use his
Ultimate.
ult as
Use
an
his ultimate
engage,
as
but as some
self-peel rather
self-peel.
than... I see what you're saying. Oh, and Clutch just picked up the Thorn Mail, so it's going to be really hard for Karamat to do a whole lot here. We'll be able to shred him down a little bit with the on-hit build. It's able to just throw out auto attacks, but Blade of the Rune King has lifesteal with the Grievous Wounds and the return damage from Thorn Mail. It's going to be really hard for him to stay healthy while auto-attacking onto the tanky members of GSM. Doesn't even have a Runons yet, so he's really not able to do a whole lot of teamfight damage either. Sci-Fi about to face check into multiple members of GSM. The Tidal Wave used, and they will just take out Sci-Fi instantly.
Absolutely deleted. It looks like he's building towards a stone plate. And once that happens, he might be able to deal with some of that incredible burst damage, but at this point, he just got absolutely deleted.
Yeah, they invested Tidal Wave and True Shot Barrage for that one, but it does result in them picking up the Dragon for free, and now they rotate to the bot lane with Clutch in the mid lane. That Good Voice nowhere near, so that's all of Sneck's wave clear, really, not in the area. Jack is going to be forced back. GSM can kind of do what they want. Shaq Daddy ready to start up with the stretching elastic slingshot in. They flash away from it. PB Doughboy will be the one caught by the Chain of Corruption used, and now Shaq Daddy getting shredded. He's gonna take the tower shot, and it will be the tower going down and Shaq Daddy living, but the unstoppable onslaught down the corridor. It's absorbed by Sci-Fi, so Karamat will not take it, but the Tidal Wave comes back off cooldown. Elastic slingshot in. Shockwave finds a few members of Sneck. True Shot Barrage flies across, and PB Doughboy flashes away. It will be Shaq Daddy falling down, but Sneck too low to deal and stay. Wow, okay. So
it seemed they tried everything they could to get on top of that Varus, but unfortunately he was able to, he didn't get hit by Unstoppable Onslaught. The Tidal Wave missed. The Elastic Slingshot missed. Karamat played that fight really well and was able to put out a lot of damage without going down himself.
yeah, Karamat did put out a lot of damage in that fight, but like we were saying, Clutch and Shaq Daddy are so tanky, he's only able to get down one of them in the course of that fight. And just barely too, really. Redemption came down a little bit too late from Area Panda to save Shaq Daddy. Now Sneck, they're trying to clear out vision around the Baron because they know it's spawning in about 10 seconds.
Like you were saying earlier, though, this Varus has not picked up a Runan's Hurricane, which means he can really only deal reliable damage onto one target at a time.
Gotta know Magic Mantle. Are we gonna see the Spectre's Calvaris again?
We can hope. No,
Oh.
don't actually do that.
I really don't know what to do in Karamat's position right now. He is really basically all of Sneck's damage. Jack is gonna try to get onto Tien Sama with the feast, but it's an Ezreal like we were talking about. It's so hard to just run him down.
Yeah, he does. Karamat does still have his flash. He has some sustain from the Blade of the Ruined King. So I feel like looking into these next fights, he has to figure out how to put off as much damage as possible on these frontliners, So I don't know. I'm just wondering why he's still deciding to stay away from because there is
Oh,
more
it's a
than one
Hex Drinker.
tank.
It's a Hex Drinker.
Okay.
Okay, at the very least, that gives you some damage. Um, I don't know. I mean, what would you have built here? Do you think maybe he would have benefit from the Runon's Hurricane into Infinity Edge crit build that we see a lot of, or do you think it's better to go for this more defensive build on the Varus?
With how much dive they have, I feel like, and how much magic damage is attached to that dive, I feel like the Mercury Treads was an intelligent pickup. However, since there is more than one very clear frontliner, with both the Scion and the Zat going to be straight up in your face, I'm just curious as to why he's staying away from Runads like we've been
Yeah.
talking about.
Amplify, give all that on-hit damage as well to multiple members if he ever happens to be in a position to do so. But we've seen this one before, Clutch and Jack just being big tanks in the bot lane as the Baron is started up.
And, you know, also, Talia's no slouch in putting out some AoE damage. So it's possible he's just trying to make sure he can focus down one of the frontliners at a time, and hopefully letting the Talia's damage really take care of the other, and then also dealing with the backline.
So GSM posturing around the Baron, and it is started up. They have a control ward in the pit, so they know Snek does not have vision in the area. PB Doughboy knows it's happening, though, and he's going to be the first one to come out. But the Unstoppable Onslaught channeled. PB Doughboy knocks away somebody, but the Weaver's Wall will stop the Scion ultimate. Nicely done by Echoed Voice, but GSM already peeled off the Baron.
Really intelligent placement there. Obviously, that ultimate has a global sound effect, and once she heard it coming, I just imagined the Talia's first thought was to make sure that Scion would in no way be a factor in this fight.
Jack just fighting on the Clutch, but here comes the rest of GSM. They might bind. No, they won't. I'm just kidding. They're tanks. Man,
Not only tanks, but tanks with incredibly useful built-in sustain.
but Jack is running pretty low on mana here. Gonna be out of it soon. Uh-oh, that is not where you want it to be, PB Doughboy. He's gonna headbutt Pulverize onto Jack Dive, but here comes the Elastic Slingshot. It's gonna be interrupted by the Belly Slam. Nicely done by Sci-Fi. Extracts PB Doughboy out of there.
He got a 3-man Pulverize, making sure that as he was in the middle of where he shouldn't be, they were not able to get really any damage out on him. Then he very skillfully sidestepped the Elastic Slingshot and just made sure he'd be able to get out and help the team in what looks like is going to be a very critical Baron fight coming up soon. Or they're just going to all go back to base.
Yep, back to base. That's always fun. But you know, really intelligent. This is something I see a lot of teams do. After you're done dancing around the Baron, everyone takes a recall. They say, "Okay, we're done with that." And you can't have everybody recall at the same time because that's when the enemy team will just rush down the Baron. Thankfully, they did have vision on it. The control ward in the front does not see the control ward in the back, and I guess Snek never bothered to check the pit. So
one thing that we have to take into consideration now is the Elder Dragon is up, and this is
2 epic months. Yep. Oh,
Talia
whoa,
wall.
Weaver's Wall used to cut off GSM as Snek try to rush down the Baron. They know that Vision's here, but Unstoppable Onslaught is used. Absorbed by PB Doughboy, he pops his ultimate immediately. Chain of Corruption used. True Shot Barrage comes across the team, and Clutch is going to get focused down, or Willie. He's going to survive and gets the Redemption Heal. There's the, used the ultimate, and Jack feasts onto Clutch, but now Explosive Cast knocks away Airy Panda, but no other members of GSM hit. Clutch now using that. That's a good combo from PB
4-man
Doughboy.
Pulverize.
Elastic Slingshot comes in. Shaq Daddy in the middle of the fight. They shut down PB Doughboy, and they're gonna get down onto the Zac passive. They have to focus in on Sci-Fi. Now getting melted. Tian Sama knocks him down with the Mystic Shot. It's a 2 for 2 so far. Both tanks on both sides going down. Okay. 2
So
for 2.
the both junglers are down, so obviously neither team really wanting to take the risk of
Well,
maybe
Snek might go for it as soon as Jack's Feast cooldown comes up, but I don't think that that's something they're willing to do yet.
Instead, looks like both sides are just trying to clear their jungle.
GSM has, well, not a whole lot anymore, but they do still have that control word on the Baron, so they will know that Snek has no vision of it. Echoed Voice really concerned about that Baron, so he needs to get down some vision at some point. drop a control ward over the side. He sees that it's not being started up by GSM yet.
But as we kind of talked about earlier, with how efficient of a build this the helm that iClutch bought, he charged into pretty much the entire team, and he just simply did not die for the longest time. The adaptive helm helped him absorb so much of the damage from Jack, from Sci-Fi, from Echoed Voices, and
Yeah,
also
and
a
even
lot
Karamat,
of even Karamat because of how much.
But hold on a second, because they're trading epic monster buffs. Baron is going to be started up by GSM. The Elder Dragon secured by Snek. They're actually teleporting Jack in there to try and see if he can get a feast steal off, but he's not in time. Baron goes down, but they traded for the Elder Dragon. All right, so
this is a double Infernal Elder Dragon on Snek.
yeah, now Snek. They have the double Infernal Elder Dragon, and of course, Baron doesn't actually give you a whole lot of team fight power, just that extra AD and AP. You have the other thing is Baron lasts a lot longer than Elder. Snek needs to force an engage while they have the team fight power, a non-botched engage, more importantly.
Well,
Explosive Cask invested by Sci-Fi to force them away as they pick up that tower.
Unfortunately, when you said they needed a non-botched engage, Sci-Fi decides to throw out the
I don't think that was an attempt at an engage. I think that was just to push them away so they can secure the tower. But you're right, that does eat through a lot of their Elder Dragon buff.
Is that really the best way to spend the Elder Dragon buff, though, trying to disengage? Because if you're going to turn it into a pushing game with the power that's going to come with the longer lasting Baron.
Yeah. Definitely a good point of consideration. Clutch is actually about to build into a ZZ Rot portal, and that is going to be a lot harder for Jack to deal with in that side lane. Elder Dragon is already about just over halfway through. Oh, this game has me on edge.
Both teams, it just seems as though neither wants to make the wrong move, because at 40 minutes in the game, these death timers are going to be extremely long.
Any fight that's won very hard one way or the other could
be the end of the game.
And you know, both teams are playing a little bit more conservatively because nobody wants to be the one person who screws up the fight and ends up losing the game for their team. But GSM are running down the mid lane with a Baron buff wave, and Snek are not in position to match it. There's the Weaver's Wall is going to cut off a few members of GSM. Now they're in a potential 5v3. Belly Slam comes out as the Chain of Corruption lands onto Shack Daddy. Shack Daddy Explosive Cast still into the tower range. The Weaver's Wall still finally going to dissipate. They're going to use the Zac ultimate, but that's a good shockwave! Baby Doughboy is going to be the first kill of the fight, but they trade for Shack Daddy. Echoed Voice and Karamat so low, they really cannot stay anywhere near this fight. They need to get back, but they don't want to give up this inhibitor tower. True Shot Barrage flies across. Sci-Fi and Jack trying to do what they can, but Clutch is so tanky, he's at full health. What was that? Unstoppable Onslaught used, but I don't think it hit anybody. But
Unfortunate use of that ultimate. But one thing that I noticed about that fight is that PB Doughboy, that entire fight was pretty much making it so that Tien Sama could not put any damage. However, just with how much farm this Orianna has, 413 CS at this point, just hitting the one shockwave on what looked like 4 members, was able to chunk Echoed Voices specifically down to a quarter HP.
Yeah, and that's where that Maw of Malmortius and Wit's End are coming in for Karamat.
Exactly.
Was able to survive, but they lost the inhibitor and another tower in the top lane.
And it looks like Karamat is devoting even more to that survivability, picking up a stopwatch.
Stopwatch going into the Guardian's
Most
Angel.
likely going into Guardian Angel.
What else could it be, though? Stone Plate? No.
I think it also goes into Banshee's Veil.
No, it goes into Zanya's.
Zanya's.
Tien Sama's not actually spotted there by PB Doughboy. Nice steal attempt by Jack. Jack is almost to that 6-item breakthrough point for Cho'Gath. If he picks up a Stone Plate with his last item, he can Stone Plate feast onto most targets on GSM. 3 out of 5 of them might just die to Stoneblade.
The problem is getting on top of them, especially if we look at this Ezreal, which is so slippery.
Not only that, but of course, Shaq Daddy always has the option to kidnap him away from his team.
So much peel potential on the side of GSM. And also, you know, kind of just quietly, this Orianna has been playing fantastically. Jack's positioning has just, throughout this entire game, seemed to be on point while farming fantastically and putting out some extreme damage.
Right, the Weaver's Wall going to be used to cut off GSM. They get onto Jack, but he flashes away from the explosive cast. Nicely done. And now they're stuck in the base. They get onto Jack once again. Shaq Daddy kidnaps nobody. They're getting onto Jack. That's a huge rocket shield. They keep him alive. And Jack loves landfall. Sci-Fi going down. Karamat stopwatch in the middle of GSM. And they cannot save him. Echoed Voice trying to do what damage he can, but it's not enough. And that's a triple kill for Tien Sama. PB Doughboy now focused down. It's going to be the quadra kill. And that is going to be a game-ending fight. Clutch teleporting to the bottom lane as they rush down the mid lane.
This composition, specifically the locket shields coming from Shaq Daddy, the shields and heals coming from RE Panda, were just able to keep Jack alive for so long, absorbing so much of that dive from Sci-Fi specifically that they were able to just clean up this fight at the end.
Yep. And that was it, and that's all they needed. Snek was in control for the entire first half of this game, and then 3 members show bot. A Baron goes down in favor of GSM, and they just slowly clean up the game. Nicely played by GSM. Jack landing multi-man shockwaves. Nicely done. So that will be GSM taking a victory over Snek. They will progress to... Back check myself. Now GSM start going in 2-2 into week 5. Snek falling down 1-3. We are going to take a short break before we get into Oklahoma Diamond Rush versus Reign of Kings. Thanks all so much for watching, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Internet, hello and welcome back to OKLCS Spring 2018. We just saw GSM take down Landsnack for their second victory in OKLCS Spring 2018. We are going to get into what we thought was the lost game, but thankfully someone in Twitch chat was willing to provide us with the raffle file before we went. So the next game will be between Oklahoma Diamond Rush and Reign of Kings. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into it. Oklahoma Diamond Rush on the blue side coming into this week 0-3. Reign of Kings coming in 2-1. Yeah, Reign of Kings coming in 2-1. So let's look. I did figure out the typo that the person who sent in the form made. On the side of Oklahoma Diamond Rush, they banned away Jarvan, Azir, and Gnar. And then Reign of Kings banned Swain, Urgot, and Sejuani. And then in the second rotation of bans, Vladimir and Zac taken away by Oklahoma Diamond Rush away from Reign of Kings. Reign of Kings taken away the Orianna and the Galio. Oh man, I wish you could hear this. It's so weird when Tarek uses emotes with the lifeguard skin on. Okay, so Zoe and Zillion, the battle of the Z midlings, in this game.
I think that generally Dillian is considered kind of the favored just
The
because
soft counter to
the
Zoe.
soft counter, simply because of if she lands Sleepy Trouble Bubble, he knows how much damage is going to be following, and he can ult preemptively to try and make sure that target of the Sleepy Trouble Bubble stays safe.
The thing is, though, if that trouble bubble happens to land onto Ignopius Zillion, like, either he has to ult himself before he falls asleep, right? Or, and like, actually, that's basically what he has to do. But
Yeah.
even if he does do that, then, you know, King Leroy just got an ultimate out of Ignopius for his E.
And that's how it could work in lane. But I think specifically what you're looking at is for
For
later
the
in
team
the game
fights
with
when
the team
trouble bubble
fights.
lands. Yeah, that does make sense, though.
The issue is with how long of a range Zoe can provide damage from. Sometimes you don't even see that the paddle star is coming.
Dazzle onto Baby Fu. But he'll take some damage on his way out thanks to the double ranged matchup. Baby Fu on Lulu. He's just going to continuously throw out the help picks for some harass onto Takeshi Kovac. There's the Sleepy Trouble Bubble we were talking about. King Leroy going to put a good bit of damage onto Ignopius, but I think he overestimated it a little bit because he did burn his Ignite.
The thing I want to look at is if you look in the top lane, this Alawi has decided to actually go Electrocute instead of what I've seen a lot of Alawis doing.
Oh, yeah.
With Kleptomancer.
Yeah, Kleptomancy, even... Oh, good Sleepy Trouble Bubble will stop Moose and the Loose's gank onto King Leroy. The other thing, you might have gone for the Unsealed Spellbook on him. Oh, Dazzle gonna land on the Baby Fufu, and that's gonna be a lot of damage. They rocket jump onto him, Summoner Heal comes out, and Baby Fufu flashes to avoid that. Exhaust onto Sickly to stop him from aggressing onto Trueheart. Takeshi Kovac gonna take a lot of damage on his way out.
Oh, here comes
but
Warwick.
To lose. They know that Baby Fufu has no flash, but they go on to Sickly, who flashes away from the Dazzle. They will successfully burn all 4 summoners from the bottom lane of Reign of Kings. So, Moose Andaluz does have a target. Take some damage from Mechanical. Tentacles.
But yeah, deciding to go with this Electrocute instead of trying to get the extra gold that can come from landing your
Yeah, I am very
W's on.
I am very perplexed by this choice on Alawi. Electrocute, in my mind, doesn't make a whole lot of sense on Alawi. But there must be some reason for it. Maybe he's just going to go for the short trades onto Beniona, but it's going to be hard to do so when Astega is lurking around that top side. They don't think that they can go for anything. So will just be Astega starting his recall. Don't want to waste too much time just hanging around trying to see if there's anything that can happen.
One reason though that Alawi is so good into this game is because on her W, not only being a auto attack reset, but it also does percent max health damage, I believe, onto this very tanky, what will become a very tanky Ornn.
Take a time bomb to the face, as well as the summon Airy from Ignobius. Summon Airy makes a lot of sense on Zillion. Got it. You know, you don't have the shield, but the Airy will also proc if you speed somebody up. Neat. And you're gonna get jumped on by Mechanical Reaper as he tries to build something in his face.
Just kind of disrespectful, I think, trying to build right in front of your Alawi.
Doesn't find the belly slam onto Moose on the loose. It will just be a barrel. Well. Slowing down yet again, King takes another time bomb to the face. He's continuing to put down poke on a True Heart, but Takeshi Kovac, now at the level 4, does have the 2 points in the queue that you will normally see on the Taric.
One thing, I think, since this, we've seen a lot of...
Of course, the flash from Roy also flashed.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm in that situation that we only saw part of correctly. But go ahead.
But yeah, like I was saying, I feel like, we've seen so much Ezreal today, but I feel like, it's fairly easy for Ezreal to just arcane shift out of the Dazzle from Taric. But if you look, these are two champions with really no escapes. Varus is a very immobile AD carry.
Yeah, but look at that. The move speed from Baby Fufu allows him to sidestep away from the Dazzle quite nicely.
Exactly. So that's kind of what they have to play around is, do they have the haste from this Lulu? Otherwise, Taric could just chase them down and lock them down.
The double purple bot lane. Pretty nice. Lulu Varus is generally a pretty strong, both in lane and as the game goes on.
Keeping the AD safe.
Keeping a relatively immobile ADC safe, but also giving a lot of attack speed for an on-hit build that Sickly will more than likely be opting towards.
And I don't know this interaction, but you might. Would the Lulu ultimate actually cancel the infinite duress from Warwick?
Yes, it would. Because provided you use it after it lands, because the Warwick is unstoppable while he's in flight, if you pop it just before he ults, then he'll continue to fly forward and land onto the slightly bigger ADC. But if you pop it after he lands, then it will be a knock-up and stop the Varus ultimate, or the Warwick ultimate.
So that could be one way that they have of stopping what can be a very irritating Warwick from diving in onto your carries.
I think Beniona took the... Somebody top lane took minion dematerializer. They just used the last one.
It was Beniona.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Gonna help him with some wave clear later on.
He's been getting shoved in a little bit by Mechanical Reaper. Dazzle not quite gonna find Baby Fu. Dazzle's an ability on Taric. You really have to be on the same page as your ADC so that they don't like walk back. Oh, Mechanical Reaper pops the ultimate, puts down a lot of damage onto Beniona, and Musandalus is on the way in. He's gonna look for the infinite duress, flash away from by Beniona, but it will be first blood. Just chomps him down with the hungry bite. Now Ignobius now gonna get ganked by Hastega in response, but he just walks it out of there, and Hastega sort of left doing nothing.
You could see just on that gank top lane with how much move speed Musandalus got, both with how low, because of how low Beniona was, his ult, he flew across the entire lane.
Yeah. And actually, Musandalus is 2 levels up over Hastega in the jungle. Level 7 to level 5. Hastega crucially does not have the level 6 for no explosive cask, and he's very far behind in terms of stats compared to Musandalus. Will finally hit that level 6 now.
But he's still 13 CS below this Warwick.
So Musandalus far out farming onto Hastega, and his first gank comes through first, and it's successful. So Reign of Kings looking to be quite a bit behind right now. 1K at only 9 minutes.
At this bot lane, it's
gonna trade onto Baby. Yeah, she just shields up. They both supports sort of just shield up their ADCs.
Oh, what a fun time. But no, if no, we can see Tristana has this BF sword, whereas Sickly has this the
The
pickaxe
recurve bow
and the
pick.
recurve
So
bow.
yeah. So until that Gwynsu's is finished, while they both only have components, Trueheart actually has the advantage. Up until that Gwynsu's is finished, and then Sickly will have an increase in damage up until, you know, Trueheart picks up those multiple crit items.
Once you get those 3 items, especially with Infinity Edge followed by Static Shiv and Rapid Fire Cannon, at that point the Tristana just becomes an absolute nightmare to deal with.
And about that time is when Tristana hits those higher levels, gets a lot of the increased range from Draw B. Basically gonna get some move speed and attack speed from Baby Whimsy. It's gonna aggress on the Trueheart as Takeshi walks up and wards away. So Musandalus is actually rushing straight for the Titanic Hydra. Normally, I see a lot of Warwicks go for T. Oh, Flash!
Oh!
Infinite Duress, but he's gonna get sleeped here. Gets the stopwatch off. Musandalus gets the Chrono Shift as well, and King Leroy will survive. Actually turns around a lot of damage on the Musandalus.
I would say that Chrono Shift was very premature there. He
Yeah.
placed that on Moose on the loose when he was essentially full
Full
health.
Yeah, very early on the Chrono Shift, and also early on that second time bomb, came down before Leroy popped out of stasis, and then he was able to get out. So a little bit of a botched play by Ignopius.
Possibly this is due, Zillion's not exactly the most common champion you see in solo queue. Possibly this is just a counter pick that he's been working on, doesn't have maybe
As
a
much
little bit
experience on it.
uncomfortable on the champion.
Really have to understand the exact way your champion works. That's a Dazzle use. Chain of Corruption will come down. Takeshi Kovac is going to get the Cosmic Radiance. Don't burn any abilities on it, but the Explosive Cask will put Trueheart in a bad position. He flashes away. The Exhaust and the heal used. Sickly will take down Trueheart. Now Sky Zero, their support running on away. There's the slow from Hastega. Dazzle will come out. He actually flashes forward. Sickly going to get flashed away in response, and Takeshi Kovac pops the stopwatch. A little bit of a waste there, and it will be him going down. Or will it? Musandalus coming in. They do kill him off. The shield comes out. Sickly, the Musandalus flashes. The Hastega goes for the flash, actually, and now Musandalus on the retreat. What an interesting turn of events.
Takeshi Kovac decided that he was going to try his best
Ooh,
to...
Mechanical Reaper pops the ultimate Beniona. That's the signal for him to run away. But yes, go ahead.
Well, he decides that he was going to try and... he knew he was going to die, so he decided he was going to try his best to take Sickly with him.
Yeah,
but unfortunately...
was it worth the flash, though?
He did force Sickly to flash and heal.
That's true.
So it was I believe a 1-for-2 summoner trade. And I would always prefer to have my flash on my AD than on my support.
Okay, fair enough.
To be fair, that's coming from an AD player speaking to a support player, so...
It really kind of does just depend on the champion. You can make a lot of easier... Flash can make Tarak that much more threatening with Flash Dazzle, but of course, Sickly not having the Flash also means that he can't avoid a Dazzle if it were to come in without the Flash from him.
And like we've been talking about, on a very immobile AD carry, Flash just becomes such a critical tool.
Yep. But Sickly, with that kill, does pick up the Gwynsu's Rage Blade, so now he and Baby Fufu will start to win out on these trades if they extend far enough. Chunk down below half, which means that Musandalus, this is a potential target for him, but he's actually snuck his way into the side brush in the bot lane, on a control ward of his own, so knows that Reign of Kings has no idea he's down here. Beniona trying to clear out the wave as Mechanical Reaper gonna Test of Spirit him. It's very patiently. There's the Dazzle.
Wait.
Infinite Duress comes out with the Wild Growth like we were just talking about. Chain of Corruption comes out. Do they have enough damage? They fear up Sickly, and Sickly will go down. Nicely done by Oklahoma Diamond Rush, and now pressing onto Baby Fufu, but he will make it back to his tower, but they need to get somebody down there before he gets dove.
It was well played by Baby Fufu, but unfortunately, at this point, the Tristana and the Warwick just do so much damage.
Did Leroy just walk into a time bomb that was on the ground? I think he just did. In any case, Rod of
bad.
Ages finished off for Ignopius. Yeah, he's probably hoping we ever see that on screen.
It's like when you fail a flash and you hope no one else saw it.
Yeah. Probably gonna look for the sleepy trouble bubble, but Ignopius is gonna look for the time bomb, misses the first one, and Hastega's now here, just gonna speed himself out of there.
That's another thing that we didn't really talk about earlier, but because Zillion has his own haste ability, it makes it that much easier for him to actually avoid the sleepy trouble bubble.
Oklahoma Diamond Rush starting out, will pick up the Mountain Drake, but the teleport coming in from Beniona. Hastega in the back of the pit. Call of the Forge God is coming in. He's gonna knock up Takeshi Kovac, and they will just focus down the support.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just didn't pop the invulnerability early enough, and they...
Ooh, Mechanical Reaper actually also has to flash to avoid the knockup from Beniona's dash. Okay, well,
they end up on that trade. Although they lost the Mountain Drake, they got a lot back. They got a kill and 2 Summoner spells from Mechanical Reaper in exchange for the teleport.
we'll see if they can make anything of Reign of Kings. They are currently down almost 2k gold due to the towers falling both bot and top in favor of Oklahoma Diamond Rush.
Bears does have that Ginsu's though, and he's had it for quite a while now. So, he's
Getting to the strong point.
getting to a very strong point, whereas Tristana has not finished Infinity Edge yet, doesn't even have boots, just has a Static Shift finished, still has some time to go before she'll be the late game terror that she can be.
Yeah, but almost to that Infinity Edges will be the double crit item. Then Tristana will start scaling up very quickly. Sickly still only sitting at 1 item, so in terms of just pure items, Trueheart is currently ahead.
You do have to take it.
He's going to land on Takeshi Kovac. King Leroy
Ooh.
will take out about a third of his HP bar with the
And
Paddle Star.
that was just from the AoE damage from the Paddle Star.
Oh. They
So-
didn't, yeah, they nerfed the Paddle Star so that it will not splash. Oh, hold on a second. Mechanical Reaper just going to pop his ultimate onto Beniona. Another one, Sleepy Trouble will land onto Ignopius, but Takeshi ate the Paddle Star for him. Always what you want to do against Zoe, because the sleep amplifies the damage that you will take from the next ability. You always want to have somebody who's not sleep to eat it, at the very least, if no one can avoid it.
And as you were saying though,
Stega
that
throws out the explosive cask. Oh, but the Sleepy Trouble bubble lands onto Ignopius. King Leroy looking for it, but again, the block from Takeshi Kovac. And now Astega jumping onto Musandalus with the help of Mechanical Reaper. King Leroy gets another Trouble Bubble off onto Musandalus. That one will land, and it will be a big chunk onto the jungler of Oklahoma Diamond Rush.
but kind of like you were saying, I don't know if it's they have nerfed it or they will nerf it, but the amplified damage will no longer splash.
Yeah. Well, the
with
way it works, actually. Hold on. Now, call the Forge God after the Sleepy Trouble Bubble lands. Takeshi Kovac will get the Chrono Shift, and the Cosmic Radiance will land onto him, and he will pop right back up. That will be Beniona's ultimate for Ignopius' ultimate. Gonna take a lot of damage onto King Roy with that Test of Spirit. Another Time Bomb lands onto Beniona. He's slowed up. He's gonna dash away, dodge away from the Dazzle.
Countless lifetimes.
But yeah, kind of like we were talking about, able to put that Chrono Shift on champions that would otherwise be taken down just by how much damage this Zoe does.
Very true. And now the Rift Herald dropped in the mid lane for Oklahoma Diamond Rush. They're trying to focus down this last remaining outer tower, and it looks like it's about half, and they will get it, forcing away Reign of Kings. Stega lurking on the other side of the fight, but he's so behind as a jungler, and Dazzle gonna land. Oh, not quite, but the Infinite Duress will not land either. Reign of the Wild Growth comes out, and King Musandalus goes a little too deep. Sickly unloading with auto attacks, and there's Hastega from the backside. Mechanical Reaper gonna get his ultimate off. The tentacles coming out, double kill for Sickly, and now they're gonna get a knockup. Mechanical Reaper will be the next to fall. The triple kill for the ADC of Reign of Kings.
That was a fantastic ultimate, making sure that he caught Musandalus while he was still under the aggro from that tower, putting that much more damage, and then spread onto the Taric, I believe, and then finally onto Alawi,
Yeah.
making sure that they were able to catch all of these enemy champions while still under the turret aggro.
Yeah, and if Sickly wasn't, is Sickly now 5-1-2. If he wasn't ahead before, he's definitely ahead now, and he's gonna have to be the one that Reign of Kings relies on in order to bring this game back, because they're currently sitting 3 towers to 0. But what were we talking? Oh, so the way that Zoe's Paddle Star works is, before it would proc her passive to everyone with more sparkles. So
Yeah.
you would get a little bit of extra damage every time you threw it out. What they did is they changed it so that more sparkles only applies to the primary target hit by the Paddle Star rather than splashing to everybody hit. So that does effectively nerf a lot of her AoE damage, especially onto splash targets. And then, of course, on the next patch, Zoe's getting absolutely gutted, so always a nice thing to know if you are a Zoe hater.
I mean, I just always say if there's a champion that can 100 to 0 an AD, we need to get rid of that. We need to just nerf that
speaking as an
champion into
ADC
the ground.
main, there's the Call of the Ford God used to try and clear out the wave, but the tower's already low enough, and there's a good 2-man knockup from Beniona, but nobody followed. Chain of Corruption will come through for Sickly. It's just Musa Nalu's just gonna infinite duress out if he ever gets into a bad situation, but the time bombs come out, the CP Trouble Bubble not gonna land onto anybody. Oh, it did land onto Ignopius, but blocked up by Takeshi Kovac, or by Mechanical Reaper rather.
Who was forced to flash.
Took a lot more damage than he was expecting from that one.
Throughout that whole fight, Beniona.
Oh, Hastega from the backside gets the explosive cast on a multiple members. Moves on to loose. Gonna infinite duress out. They use the dazzle onto 2. Hastega looking for it. They flash forward. Beniona gonna get stunned by the double time bomb. Sickly now moving forward with baby Fufu's buffs all over him.
I mean,
will force away Oklahoma Diamond Rush.
But if you notice, Beniona before this had been taken down to probably about a fourth of his health, but because he has this Warbogs, he's just able to regenerate so much health in between fights.
So Mountain Drake, 1 apiece. Reign of Kings evening up that dragon count. Sterax Gauge and Black Cleaver for Mechanical Reaper, so he is a threat that you have to deal with if he ever gets into the middle of the fight, gets a good tentacle ult off. Rod of Ages building into the Morellonomicon, the old standard for Zilean, once he can get the CDR and the extra mana pool for himself.
Now we've seen a lot of Varus's today go Ginsu's into Wit's End, but I think what Sickly's doing is really smart because there are 3 melee frontliners in Alawi, Warwick, and Tarek. He has just completed Runan's Hurricane, which means that he'll be able to damage all 3 of those melee champions at the same time during 5-on-5 team fights.
Right, and especially with you know, the only real magic damage coming out from Oklahoma Diamond Rush is from Ignopius. Sure, a little bit of magic damage coming out from the Warwick, but it's relatively minor, and not only that, but Ignopius playing Zilean is more of a support-oriented laner, so not nearly as much magic damage to contend with. So I do rather like this item adaptation from Sickly rather than the Wit's End. See, we Trouble Bubble gonna land on the Takeshi Kovac, but King Leroy doesn't get a huge Paddle Star off, just throwing him back. Oh, but the explosive cast will land. They body slam in, the Ignite goes down, and he will get the Chrono Shift in time, but he already had the Cosmic Radiance. He will finally fall, and King Leroy will die on the other side. Astega gets out as Takeshi Kovac pops back up. The Call of the Forge God will knock him up. Ignopius now in the middle of the fight. Sickly is unloading with the auto attacks, and he's free hitting. Ignopius will be the next to fall. The time bomb sidestepped, and Sickly goes unstoppable.
And like we said earlier, with this Lulu, despite the fact that Tristana is at 2.5 items, this Lulu is just buffing up this Varus to such a degree that he can pretty much take on the entire team.
Yeah, with a 6-in-1 Varus empowered by the Lulu, peeled up by Hastega and Beniona, he will be essentially the quote-unquote one-man army, I guess. You know, he's got support, but he's the one-man army. So they tried to start the Baron. They decided, okay, this probably is a little too risky with the rest of Oklahoma Diamond Rush on the way in.
But despite having 5 kills over Oklahoma Diamond Rush, Reign of Kings is still in a roughly 2.5k deficit.
Yeah,
because they have
4 towers to 0.
4 towers
to 0. And that's the signal for the Baron to be started up, but the Sleep of Trouble lands onto the ADC. means that he has to rocket jump out, and that means Oklahoma Diamond Rush has to leave.
Yeah, one of the great things about playing Tristana into especially Zoe is if you get sleepy, you can just buffer your rocket jump, and it makes it so hard for Zoe to actually hit the paddle star.
Oh, but another trouble lands on Takeshi Kovac, but it will just be Random Kings picking up their first tower of the game. Beniona gonna pop a shield, eat the time bomb. Leroy jumps forward, throws out some damage, but it's not a whole lot.
First turret, though.
Yeah, for sure. That is gonna slightly lower the gold deficit for Random Kings.
Shifted from 2,500 to about 900.
Just about 2,000.
2,000. Yeah, I can't do math.
Quick maths.
2 + 2 is 4. -1, 3. Quick maths.
Alright, so Takeshi Kovac and Musandalu's gonna find some wards dropped in the enemy jungle by Reign of Kings. Blue buff will take it for himself. Hastega kindly hands that one off to his...
What a team player.
Let's see. Musandalu's Cinderhulk Titanic Hydra compared to the Cinderhulk Warmogs on the side of Hastega. This is still a pretty close game. It still could go either way. I think Mechanical Reaper, though, does have a little bit more pressure than Ben does in this side lane. And here's Musandalu's Infinite Thrust will miss, overshoots it a little bit. Call the Forge God actually misses there from Beniona, but he flashes out, and Takeshi Kovac's on the other side. The flashes into the middle of all of Oklahoma Diamond Rush. Ignopius actually flashed away from King Leroy, a little bit scared, and the Explosive Cask used after the fact. Disengage. A little bit quick trigger fingers from some of the players in this game. I think it was a little preemptive of Ignopius to flash, and a little bit overly defensive of Hastega to invest the Explosive Cask there.
Unfortunately for Beniona, no matter how tanky you are, a 5v1 is still going to end up the same way.
Yeah, probably going to be with you dying. But it will be the Baron started up by Oklahoma Diamond Rush. Takeshi Kovac clearing out a ward. King Leroy's on the bottom side of the map. I think they're conceding this one. They're just looking for the Miracle Steal from Hastega. Sickly throws in the Chain of Corruption. Gonna keep him. Oh, beautiful Buster Shot from Trueheart! Keeps Hastega straight out of the pit. Nicely done by the ADC of Oklahoma Diamond Rush. Oh, and King Leroy actually almost got soloed out by Mechanical Reaper.
Buster Shot is just such a valuable tool in Tristana's kit. It not only will it, you know, increase the damage from Explosive Shot, giving you the potential to also reproc your, or to refresh the cooldown on Rocket Jump. It also provides extreme self-peel, and in situations where you are trying to keep the jungler out of the Baron pit can be a fantastic way.
That was absolutely insane. Buster Shot, the instant Hastega went for the belly slam. Now Trueheart is unloading onto Leroy. Leroy has to flash away after he pops back, and Beniona getting focused down. He takes the Explosive Charge, gonna get a shield, but Mechanical Reaper on the other side of the fight. But he flashes in for a big burst of tentacles. Baby Fufu isolated on the side. Takeshi Kovac looking for the dazzle, doesn't land onto anybody. It will be the Infernal Dragon going over to Oklahoma Diamond Rush, as well as the kill onto Beniona.
Unfortunately, it seems like the map just doesn't want Reign of Kings to have a good time, with even the Infernal Drake switching aggro onto Beniona.
Another tower falls in favor of Oklahoma Diamond Rush. They have a huge Baron wave and no Beniona, no real tank here. Hastega is going to do what he can, but not a whole lot, is it? And that'll be the first inhibitor of the game going down in favor of Oklahoma Diamond Rush.
And just look how quickly this gold graph has shifted. What was about a 2,000 gold lead has now become an over 6,000 gold lead for OGR.
Yep. Wow. Art just got to free auto for a lot of that fight, and Sickly, he can't find some safe area, but here comes the call of the Forge God, knocks up three! Chain of Corruption comes out, but Sickly takes a time bomb to the face, gonna get the Wild Growth onto him. Beniona's doing as big of a tank job as he can, but Sickly gets flashed on by Trueheart, but it's not gonna be enough. Sickly will survive. Now Hastega getting jumped on by Musandalu's, a 2-level discrepancy between those two junglers. Chrono Shift popped somebody back up on the side of OGR, but I don't know who it was.
Really good test of spirit there from Mechanical Reaper landing it onto the Varus. So even though he was saved by his tower, dishing out a lot of damage onto that AD carry, making it difficult for him to really step up and put out the damage in that team fight.
Yeah, definitely. So now the Spirit Visage coming out from Mechanical Reaper absorbs a lot of the magic damage coming out from King Leroy and from Sickly's on-hit build. Still have that added pressure of that inhibitor down in the mid lane. Sickly running back towards his side of the map because, you know, he's all alone here in the jungle right now, and he's basically all of Reign of King's gold.
On top of that, I think because he has such an advantage, he knows that the rest of the team, or that the OGR is going to be gunning for him. So picking up this Quicksilver Sash, making it difficult to get locked down by the Taric, by the Warwick, by the Zillion, or even to an extent, it'll cleanse the slow from Alawi's Test of Spirit, making it so that he has more of the freedom to really put out the damage that he can do with this build.
Look at the level discrepancy between Mechanical Reaper and Beniona. Level 16 to level 14. Not only does he have a 2-level lead, but more importantly, he has that level 3 to level 2 ultimate. See, Beniona just slowly getting chipped away on by Mechanical Reaper. The Warmugs will top him off, provided he doesn't die.
But I think the Bramble Vest here was also a great idea, because one of Alawi's biggest advantages is how much healing she gets when her tentacles hit champions. By inflicting grievous wounds, it cuts Alawi's potential to really be able to just heal so much of that damage.
Alright, so, but they do have to deal with Mechanical Reaper in the top lane, and Beniona is going to be the one sent up there to deal with it, but Mechanical Reaper just happy to knock away at the tower, pops the Test of Spirit. The tentacle will land onto both of the Benionas. Oh, look at Diamond Rush. They're using that wave that's built up in the mid lane to siege the other two lanes. Reign of Kings, they have to look for a fight onto somebody soon. Now, Oklahoma Diamond Rush, they get Trueheart the time to free auto onto this tower. Explosive Cask used just to push him away, but Trueheart just walks back in and focuses down the tower.
Look at that. That Tristana is on 3, almost 4 complete items.
3.5 with more than 3.5, because he's got both the components towards that Lord Dominique's Regards.
Only 600 gold away from combining it, I believe. So
more than likely will have it when he recalls, but the Time Bomb lands. There's the Chain of Corruption being used. Takeshi Kovac, he's gonna back away, and now the Call of the Forge God being used. The Cosmic Radiance comes in, and Takeshi Kovac absorbs a lot of Sickly's damage, and they have to back away as the tower falls in the top lane.
It just seems that Reign of Kings does not know how to deal with all the pressure that's being brought up by this almost 4-item Tristana and by this Alawi.
They're too fast with Ignopius just speeding through everybody. King Leroy. Now Sickly is trying to get the autos off. Here's Beniona on the side. Gets a good 2-man knock-up onto Ignopius and Moose on the loose. Flash away from the belly slam, and Moose on the loose will also flash. Now the Sleepy Trouble Bubble and land on a Mechanical Reaper. Beniona coming through. Gonna be able to cleanse it away with the Mercury, or not cleanse it away, but the Mercury Sheds will reduce the duration of the sleep. Reign of Kings trying so hard to defend the very last inhib, because if 3 inhibs fall, that's basically game. Trueheart stealing away the red buff. Looks on that Time Bomb almost stealing it away.
They do manage to, at least for the time being, keep up that 3rd inhibitor.
It is 1 tower to 9 in favor of Oklahoma Diamond Rush. This is a team coming into this week 0-3, looking for their first victory in the OKLCS Spring 2018 split. And they are very, very close to picking it up over Reign of Kings, coming in as one of the most anticipated teams of this split for Diamond Capped.
I just have to say, OGR managed to use the pressure from their last Baron so well after getting it, never really letting up.
Baron power play. Now Takeshi Kovac clearing out some vision. King Leroy just throwing paddle stars as best he can. The teleport coming in from Beniona. Takeshi Kovac taking a lot of damage. Shade of Corruption goes in. It's secured by Moose on the loose. Hastega gets in there. Explosive cast. And they've actually killed out the support. Hastega flashes out, but he's getting the Tesla Spear. True Heart's tilled up. Hastega sickly gets the wild growth. And he's unloading. Moose on the loose misses the infinite duress. And now they're focusing him down. What are these mechanics from Sickly? True Heart on the run. So low, and Mechanical Reaper running out with him. What was that? Sickly with the most insane stutter stepping I have ever seen. But now True Heart, he's got the regen from the red buff. He's getting ready to siege onto that top lane. Sickly trying to do what he can to pick up a tower in the mid lane.
With the on-hit build and with the Last Whisper, he just melted through Moose on Deleuze.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. We'll pick up the second tower of the game for Reign of Kings.
Small victories,
Yeah.
baby steps.
I mean, they gotta take those victories at one step at a time if they have to want to have any hope of coming back in this game. But Sickly is trying to make it happen for Reign of Kings, trying to get the Mountain Trick, but Mechanical Reaper is a big, scary tentacle lady.
However, I will say those kills did start to help push the gold back in the direction that Reign of Kings wants.
Oh, Sickly is isolated here. The time bombs will zone him away from that corridor. Hastega, that's very smart. He eats it for him, but Ignopius chrono shifted very early.
Once again, like we were talking about.
But here's the call to Forge God. Hastega still has the explosive cast, knocks up 2. They get Takeshi Kovac. Cosmic Radiance not even used. There's the ultimate for Mechanical Reaper. Explosive cast will split the team. Now Sickly gets the wild growth. Once again, True Heart's on a rampage. He kills off Beniona, and Sickly out of mana cannot go for any more. They've got to deal with that wave pushing in the bot lane.
But this entire time, he's just able to free fight in these. He's able to free fire in these fights.
True Heart gets the Guardian Angel. True Heart's at full items right now. Sickly still, even with those 8 kills, not able to finish off his build because of the global gold discrepancy, and another inhibitor falls in favor of Oklahoma Diamond Rush. They're rotating up to the top lane. Leroy will try to throw out the trouble bubble to zone them away, but Ignopius almost gets taken out. Mechanical Reaper flashes away, and the third inhibitor falls for Oklahoma Diamond Rush. And now True Heart is going very low. He's about to fall with the Guardian Angel. They're going to get the Chrono Shift onto Mechanical Reaper, but that means Ignopius will fall. Now Mechanical Reaper falls, but pops back up. The Guardian Angel will be taken out. Shutdown goes over to Leroy. Mechanical Reaper pops his ultimate. Hastega now having to back away, but Sickly will come in. Gets the Chain of Corruption onto the top laner. And now they focus him down. That's enough. Body Slam comes out, and Hastega picks up the kill. Or Hastega helps secure the kill for Sickly as he goes legendary 10, 1, and 5.
I think this is really smart. If you look at what Sickly's picked up, he has decided to go with Mortal Reminder, which is fantastic against champions like Alawi and like Warwick, which are built upon their ability to drain tank and lifesteal. It's going to cut their ability to stay in these fights dramatically.
How long does Grievous Wounds apply from Mortal Reminder?
I believe it's only 3 seconds.
3 seconds?
So it's not nearly as long as the, say, 8 seconds from Morellonomicon.
But that's enough, though, because if you... There's actually this weird interaction with Zillion Ultimate where when they pop back up, it's considered healing. And since the stasis lasts less than 3 seconds, if your auto attack is the thing that kills them, they will actually get reduced healing from the Chrono Shift.
It's really similar to, I also believe, the interaction with Echo's Ultimate.
Yeah, that's true. That is also considered healing. Yeah, the reason I know that is because, you know, when I used to play a lot of Cupid, when you actually, if you pop down your ultimate on top of a respawning Zillion, or someone respawning from Zillion ultimate, they'll actually, like, pop back up with 1 HP.
Oh. So, Sickly has finally finished his build, deciding to end up, turn that QSS into Mercurial Scimitar, getting a little bit of lifesteal, which should hopefully turn into some survivability on this incredibly fed Varus.
It throws out the bubble, but it's not going to have the range, and True Heart's going to pick up the third inhibitor once again for Oklahoma Diamond Rush. Sickly is trying to unload with some damage. Chain of Corruption used onto Moose on Deleuze. He's going to get the Cosmic Radiance, and their explosive cast knocks in 2 members of Oklahoma Diamond Rush. Here comes the call of the Forge God, and they actually killed True Heart already! Takeshi Kovac focused down, Sickly goes legendary, stunned up by the double time bombs, but they've got to deal with the minions! There's one Nexus Tower and super minions streaming in from 2 lanes!
Despite how much damage Reign of Kings is doing. They are just simply not able to handle the pressure all over the map. Their micro play is fantastic, but they're just not quite dealing with the macro as efficiently as they could be.
I think I think it's just like they're finally getting into it a little too late, because they're winning these fights, but it's impossible for them to do anything. They have to win the fights before their inhibitors fall the next time around.
Yet because this bottom inhibitor was the last one to fall, it's going to be a little bit staggered from the others. And in a minute and a half, when Baron does spawn, they will have, if that's the objective that they're going to be targeting to really make this final push, they're going to have a lot of just natural pressure on the bot lane.
Holy, Baron spawning in a mid. Reign of Kings just waiting on those inhibitors to respawn. I don't think they can actually leave their base until all three of them are back up. Stickling. Got some vision around the Baron, just making it so difficult for Reign of Kings to even come close to checking out whether the Baron is going down or not. Sickly can clear out the minion waves fairly quickly. Uh-oh. The bush bait. Astega's gonna be clearing out some wards. Art spotted out by the sweeper, actually. Okay, let's watch them. Let's see if anything comes of this.
They are incredibly patient.
Yeah, this is an incredibly patient play. They really don't have anything to do for the next 12 seconds, but oh no,
Oh, no.
not Sickly! Sickly gets jumped up, but they miss everything. He flashes the fear. QSS clears it out, and King Leroy on the other side of the fight. Sickly's doing what he can. They rocket jump onto him with the ultimate. Cosmic Radiance. Sickly's down. Sickly falls in the fight. Mechanical Reaper going in onto Baby Fufu. Hastega coming around the side. Beniona is there. They've going in, King Leroy looking for some damage on the Mechanical Reaper, but gets healed up, throws the Tesla Spear, Hastega taking a lot of damage. Sleepy Trouble Bubble goes out, zones out the corridor. Nobody else will die, but Sickly goes down.
Well,
Uh-oh, and Hastega's out of position. The Dazzle will come through, the stun lands, and they will focus him down. Time Bomb flashed away from, but that last one will be enough. Or not. Body Slam gonna go away, but he gets the move speed boost, and Musandaluz takes out Hastega.
ROK simply cannot afford to stay around because they have super minions in their base.
Yeah.
But
the Nexus Tower did fall. Oklahoma Diamond Rush from 0-3 to taking down Reign of Kings. The third inhibitor falls yet again, and they're just going to focus the Nexus. Beniona's trying so hard. Sickly's up in 11 seconds, but it's not going to matter. Reign of Kings hits rock bottom as they lose to 0-3 Oklahoma Diamond Rush to give them their first victory in OKLCS Spring 2018.
once that Varus got taken off of the map, Zoe's great for getting picks, but in a lot of these late game team fights, she's not always able to put necessarily out as much DPS as other champions. And as you can see, this Alawi was even building towards Trinity Force. She had a Sheen. Warwick, had Titanic Hydra putting out a lot of AoE damage. Zillion, a lot of AoE damage. I just feel like ROK did not have the damage once the Varus was taken down to really take on OGR.
Yeah. Really nicely played from Oklahoma Diamond Rush to pick up their first victory here. We'll have to see if they can continue to pull wins out in the next, let's see, we're in week 4, so we have 5 more weeks of OKLCS Diamond. So they still have the chance to go positive if they can win more games than they lose in the next few games. So we're going to take a short break. We have one more game for you tonight between Apache and United as one. Apache, after Too Fast Too Furious's victory over Sky Zero, they are the only team with the possibility of progressing to Week 5 undefeated. So we will have to see if they can do so, but it'll be after the break. Thank you all so much for watching. Internet, hello and welcome back to OKLCS Spring 2018 Diamond Cap Week 4. We just saw Oklahoma Diamond Rush take down Reign of Kings for their first victory in the split. We'll have to see if they can continue their upwards momentum following that game in the future weeks, but that was then and this is now, and we are going to go into our final game of the night, which is between Apache and United as one Diamond. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into it. Apache, Sky Zero and Apache play next week. Sky Zero will not be progressing to Week 5 undefeated due to their loss this week.
So
But Apache do have the chance to do so if they can win it out over United as one.
definitely a lot riding on this game to figure out kind of how the seedings are going to rank out.
Yep.
Um,
So, as far as bans go, Apache on the blue side, they banned away Vladimir, Zach, and Swain from United as one. A couple Swain bans coming out this week. Seeing if people are willing to play it and seeing if they don't want to deal with it. Camille, Ornn, and Zerath banned away from Apache by United as one, and then in the second rotation, Sejuani and Lee Sin taken away by Apache, and then Zaya and Nar will be the second round of bans for United as one. So, let's see how this one plays out. A Dramtor on the Galio.
yeah, it's one thing that I noticed, first off, really interesting is that this Tristana, who's typically, considered to have a stronger laning phase than Jinx, especially with the changes that happened where they took away some of her AD and switched it with increasing her attack speed for some additional scaling in the late game. But the Jinx is the one who's decided to go with the more aggressive Doran's Blade, and Tristana has opted for the Doran's Shield.
Yeah, I would imagine, to be honest with you, I don't have a whole lot of justification for this one. It might just be that he expects to have the sustain with Himana on Taric and just pop the Q whenever, really. And especially once Himana who will more than likely be going for the Tear of the Goddess on this Taric, he can just sort of do that without any real regard for mana. But Slappy, the current top lane MVP for OKLCS Diamond, as a lot of people like to point out. He's playing this Cho'Gath up against Unix Titus's Rumble. Unix Titus played this Rumble to great effect last year in Platinum Capped. We'll have to see if it can hold true in Diamond Capped here. Level 2 acquired by the bottom lane of Apache first.
I think the Rumble is an
early gank from Aikado onto Unix Titus. The Flagon Drag comes out. It will be the flash from Unix Titus.
But yeah, I think this Rumble is actually a pretty intelligent way to kind of round out the team comp, especially if Galio decides to go the tankier kind of traditional version of Galio, because with such a strong AD champion that Mowgli is piloting it with Graves in the jungle, in order to kind of diversify their damage profile, I think that an AP carry in the top lane like Rumble, if they can have the strong enough front line from Galio and Alistar, could be a way to really spice up this game.
Yeah. In general, I don't think Rumble is considered to be particularly strong just because, well, even before when he was considered strong, Rumble's damage falls off significantly as the game goes on. It just doesn't scale very well.
Especially since I expect the Taric to build a Locket of the Iron Solari as well.
A Locket and Redemption kind of just nullify him entirely, and Renji getting ganked by Mowgli early on. A Dramtor landed some good damage. And Slappy going very low here. He has to flash away Unix Titus. We'll get the slow. The silence comes out. He's going to look for it. First blood solo kill for Unix Titus, and there goes your top lane MVP throne.
So yeah, I mean, this is one way to definitely take care and make sure that the fall off of Rumble isn't...
Oh, flash taunt from Apache. Oh, there we go. I'm sorry, I'm losing words, but a Dramtor flash taunt will secure the kill for Mowgli with his own flash. They get a kill onto Renji, and that's a really good start for United as one.
Yeah, so they just need to make sure this team comp, which could fall off later, especially with a lot of the AP coming from Rumble, they need to make sure they get ahead and continue to push their lead.
Yeah. Aikado from the side of Apache looking for a gank on the bottom lane, but that Warden try spotted him out, and High Summoner 420 and King Nobody are able to back away. General Vici with a slight CS lead in what you would consider the losing lane. Jinx versus Tristana. Lappy gonna take some damage from Titus. Now, the thing we talk about a lot, Aikado with that early gank on a Unix Titus did successfully burn the flash, but it's not really a successful gank until after you come back and take advantage of the summoner spell discrepancy. So Unix Titus, you know, in general, Rumble and Yasuo are very similar in that both of them kind of like push the lane automatically just by virtue of the champion, and that's why Aikado is spending another gank up into this top lane like we were just talking about. The Rupture will land this time, no flash available. Aikado just gonna flag and drag onto him, and it will be a kill for Slappy.
And you know, I kind of feel like
This Dazzle stun is gonna come into Ana and High Summoner 420, gonna land some explosive charge damage.
to an extent though, I kind of feel that Unix Titus kind of has to take some advantage for that. He has in his inventory right now, he has 2 wards, and there are no red wards pretty much anywhere in the river. So Jarvan was just able to essentially walk up without this Rumble really being aware of it.
United, yeah. Wards are a big deal. Wards save lives. Wards win wars. United is one starting up on the Infernal Dragon, and that is gonna reset partially. Renji just looking for the Miracle Steal. No ultimate available for him, so no Lifeborn Disintegration Rain. It will be smited down. United has one pick up the Dragon for themselves, and Mowgli is level 6. He's the highest level in the game as the jungler on the side of United is one.
Potentially they could look. It's hard to really look mid lane or bot lane because both of these laners have decided to take stopwatch, which can really put a damper on plans for dives and for ganks. But with that increased damage, I would say just because of how much gank setup there is with the taunt and with the Justice Punch from Galio, potentially he could look mid to try and utilize that damage.
So Aikado already this Mowgli is 20 CS lead almost over Aikado at this point in the game. That's huge for a jungler. Thankfully, a lot of that appears to have been from lane CS, picking it up where a Dramtor has either recalled or backed away for whatever reason, which is why a Dramtor is kind of suffering for it, 14 CS deficit compared to Renji, and additionally Aikado not actually behind too far behind in terms of EXP to Mowgli. Dramtor will just be using the Winds of War and the Galio passive to shove the lane in. Mowgli getting down some vision in the enemy jungle of Apache.
Another thing I saw in the bot lane is that this Tristana has also decided to take it looked like Biscuits of Everlasting Will earlier, which is just going to double down on the sustain in lane. So really kind of trusting in the late game damage inherent interest on his kit and giving as many resources with the Dorn's Blade and the Biscuits to sustain through the lane.
Yeah, but you know, you talk about the late game of Tristana, and you don't see this champion very often, but this is a Jinx you're dealing with, and if there's anything Jinx does, it's late game damage.
Which is why I'm a little bit skeptical of these choices by High Summoner 420. Now obviously I'm only a gold AD, so I would trust the Diamond Cap team better than me, but I just feel like with such a potent level 2, especially with Tristana Rocket Jump and the Alistar Headbutt Pulverize, I feel like maybe they missed an opportunity by playing so passive in lane.
And that's the flash burn from Unix Titus once again. Mowgli was up in this top lane, so Unix Titus walking forward confidently after the CC misses. Dazzle is going to land on a King Nobody. He's going to cleanse it now with the Unbreakable Will. Cosmic Radiance comes out. Exhaust goes down to the High Summoner 420. He's going to Buster Shot him out and get the reset on the Rocket Jump. King Nobody fails his flash over the wall, and he's going to get slowed up by the Dazzle. Slappy teleports down. Rupture lands. Dazzle missed by Hemon after the flash, but it will be a kill on King Nobody regardless. Teleport comes out from Unix Titus. I'm not sure why he came down here. But how strange. Why did Unix Titus finish that teleport? There was no way they were gonna catch High Summoner 420, and he had a wave shoved in. He could have continued to push in and deny Slappy more CS. Oh well. I really just don't see the point of it, especially since he's not even staying. He's walking towards the mid lane, walking down the river now. He's wasting a lot of time. Oh, but as far as, analysis goes, a lot of people, you can have better analysis skills than you do playing ability. I wouldn't, just don't feel like you have to silence yourself just because you're not a higher ranked player, honestly. You know what I mean?
Single tier.
A lot of players who coach higher ranked teams are generally lower ranked just because they have the skill set for coaches is significantly different than the skill set for players. And this is kind of just me ranting because it's something I'm passionate about and I like to and I think about a lot. But again, the skill set for players is significantly different than that for coaches or analysts or even casters, really. And for anyone who's tuning in, this is the first time you casted with us, and I personally think you're doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
I don't feel bad saying that on stream. For those of you who don't know who it is, this is Riley Seegers, Funky Mama Seegers from the OU team, coming into cast as Benjamin Beniona Morales was unavailable today.
Hi.
Alright, Dazzle is going to land on the High Summoner 420. She's going to rocket jump out after taking a few autos from General Vici.
Yeah, I almost, if Tristana ended up committing the rocket jump after the stun, and with such a telegraphed ability, I almost feel like should buffer it first because it would result in less damage being taken from this Jinx.
Yeah, and look at General Vici and Himana doing a really good job. We saw this earlier on, but you can really get punished for walking up while your support is off doing something else, like warding, like King Nobody was just doing. High Summoner 420 takes a few free autos from General Vici as a result. You have to back away when the other person in your duo lane is not there. You have to move forward at the same time as your duo. Otherwise, you just get traded on 2v1 and take a lot of free damage. Thankfully, it's not enough that they can really close out on the kills, but just as a general good practice habit.
Well, and that is one of the strengths of Tristana because of how safe she can play with the
that was Buster Shot. He used Buster Shot, got knocked up by Aikodo. He already flag and drag forward, so okay, well that's Tristana ult down at least, I guess.
Potentially, maybe Tristana was trying to make sure that this J4 wouldn't decide to ult on her underneath the tower.
I guess so. Alright, so Aikodo clearing out some vision, seeing the Ocean Drake alive, and Infernal already picked up for United as one as the game slows down a little bit.
Again, though, I am kind of just curious about this vision on the top side for, on this top red side, there's a control ward and Tri-Brush, but otherwise there's really no red vision.
Yeah, Apache starting up on the Ocean Dragon, that control ward disabling that ward in the back, but United as one know what's happening now. Cosmic Radiance pop just to dissuade any engage coming out from United as one, and they will pick up the dragon and back away. But the tower first blood goes down in favor of United as one is in the mid lane, and actually all of that gold goes over to Mowgli.
Yeah, with the way that Graves auto attacks works.
There's the headbutt pulverize combo on a General Vici. There's no Cosmic Radiance. The Galio ultimate comes in. High Summoner 420 jumps onto him. Exhaust goes down, and it will be a lot of pressure lost by United as one for that, honestly. They invested the Galio ultimate for that. That's a lot of their global power.
This Galio has also decided to go Rod of Ages instead of the
Ooh,
Abyssal Map.
Slappy
Oh!
flashes for. Whoa! Mowgli just gets eliminated from the map. Himana gets the combo from King Nobody. The Flame Chompers will come down. King Nobody has the Unbreakable Will should he actually ever need it. But General Vici just trading onto autos with High Summoner 420. Oh, but the Dramtor might be out of position here. Slowed up by the Plasma Vision. Ikato just going to slow him up. Auto him down. Flag and Drag comes through. The Tectonic Disruption. There's the taunt, but it's not going to matter. And Renji picks up a kill onto the enemy mid laner.
Yeah, just kind of a unfortunate series of events for ONE right there, with both the jungler and the mid laner kind of caught out of position and going down.
Yeah. So Mowgli gives up a kill for really no reason to Slappy, and then a Dramtor greedily clearing out vision without any support is going to get caught in rotation by Renji and Ikato. And there's the Dazzle Stun. Flag and Drag comes out, and they get a Cataclysm onto High Summoner 420. He flashes out, and he's going to live! The Summoner Heal comes out, teleport coming in from both top laners. Unix Titus has the Equalizer should he need it. Slappy comes in. They get the Feast onto King Nobody, and he will go down. General Vici flashes away, the Flame Spitter burning away. Unix Titus is overheated now. Equalizer is actually not available. I lied. Himana is going to go down to the Flame Spitter. Double kill goes over to the top lane of United as one. Now Slappy will be going down. Taunted up once more. It's a triple for Unix Titus.
Yeah, at this point where there's really not a whole bunch of MR built up, there's no lock-in, this Rumble is just going to be able to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, especially with all of that flat magic pen on the Sorcerer's Shoes and the Leandry's Torment.
But kind of as I was saying earlier, you know, as we were kind of examining the team comps at the beginning, ONE really does not have a true tank, especially since Galio has decided to go Rod of Ages in place of a more tanky option like Abyssal Mask.
Yeah.
So I would say this team comp specifically has a much harder timer on it.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like in the late game, if you're playing too many squishy champions against a team that will have what looks to be two strong tanks with the J4 and the Cho'Gath, and then a Taric which will be providing, in addition, invulnerability.
Uh-oh, General Vici caught! A Dramtor looking for the taunt. They will taunt him up on top of... Whoa! That's the Rod of Ages Galio coming out. Can't even get the Cosmic Radiance down. Himana will dazzle up Unix Titus to back away.
And this is exactly what I was saying. If they can keep doing this, if they can get these picks early and use the damage from the Galio and make it to where those 5v5 team fights aren't even fair for Apache, that's what I would say is their win condition.
Yep. 3 stacks on the Rod of Ages. A Dramtor is slowly scaling up to that 10-minute power spike. 10-minute being 10 minutes after you finish the Rod of Ages, of course. And Unix Titus 4-1 now after he picks up that kill. He's going to be a real problem to deal with in these mid-game fights. Apache needs to get it together, look for some farm, maybe look for some team fights where they are the ones who catch somebody out of position early on, so they're not burning away on top of that very strong equalizer at this point. Level 11, that's one of the big power points for Rumble when you have that level 2 equalizer.
Something to look out for though, if you look at this Taric, he has cloth armor and no magic mantle. So alone, they're not going to do too much, but they are part of the components that build into Aegis of the Legion, which, as we know, builds into Lock through the Iron Solari. So potentially he's going to try quickly building that item, something to definitely watch out for as this game progresses.
Nullify a lot of that Rumble damage. Yeah, like you were saying, United is on a timer. They have no true tank compared to Cho'Gath and this full tank Jarvan, it looks to be. And then, of course, Jinx. It becomes a massive threat to deal with, especially if she can get some crits with that Runons, with the rockets onto multiple squishy targets, which is basically every target on the side of United is one. And then, you know, Vel'Koz, Lifeform Disintegration Ray will do a lot to melt through the members of United as one. Side is hiding around in that side brush, looking to see if they can get Himana and General Vici to overcommit onto King Nobody and High Summoner 420. got a Dramtor here as well with the hero's entrance. They might just look for the...
Oh,
Whoa, Mowgli!
that's a lot of damage.
Summoner heal and flash burn from Renji, and now United is one. They're just focusing down that top lane. Now Mowgli flashing forward. He does not find Renji, and now Mowgli is gonna get life form disintegration ray. Takes a couple tower shots. Oh my word! Renji outplays Mowgli in the 1v1.
Just a little bit too aggressive right there.
Too greedy by the jungler of United is one. They lose one. They lost that tower in the top lane. So now it is 4 towers to 0 in their favor. And United Titus not going to be jumped on. And United is one backs away.
Now, I would say that United is one. They have right now a 4,000 gold lead. Just a little bit over well, it just got equalized. So about a 3,500 gold lead. But they're playing incredibly far up. They are trying to push this advantage that they have.
Yeah, I think they know. They know that they're on a timer. So they really need to press the advantage like they are trying to do, but they haven't been able to find any good engages, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that, like you said, they don't have a true tank. Their only real engage is Galio ulting in with the Galio ult on top of him. Sorry, Alistar going in with the Galio ulti on.
Which, although it's fantastic, it doesn't have that extreme lockdown potential as, say, the J4 ultimate would, which could lock multiple people in that Cataclysm.
Yeah, just
it really depends on
General Vici and Renji unload all of their abilities and auto attacks onto them. Apache, they're fighting over the Mountain Drake area. A little bit split on the side of United is one. A Dramtor does have the hero's entrance to close the gap if he needs to, but he's slowed up now, and they're Righteous Glorying onto him. He's gonna Justice Punch, he gets caught, and he's gonna go for the multi-man taunt. Here comes a lot of damage. General VG stopwatches. A Dramtor falls. Cosmic Radiance, and the Cataclysm comes out. Renji with the Life Form Disintegration Ray melted through a lot of them, and now United's one. They back away. Himana has to get out because he's getting crit down. There's the collateral damage. Himana almost goes down. Slappy eating as much damage as he can. Blackie Drag, they kill out High Summoner 420. Dazzle coming out. Mowgli will shoot down with Himana, and now General Vici just trying to do what he can to back away. 2 for 2 on both sides.
Overall, just kind of a messy fight, I would say, with a Dramtor getting caught out, and then true, he does turn around and put a lot of damage out onto the enemy team, and that's one thing that this Haunting guys and
nobody goes in, but they do have Unix Titus here, but he goes down! That's a lot of damage coming out from Renji and General Vici. The smite comes down from Mowgli to pick up the Mountain Drake for United as one, but King Nobody dies for essentially no reason there. Just trying to keep Apache away from the pit that they probably weren't going to get into in time, honestly.
But if we look at the Tarek's build, that is the Aegis of the Legion. So he's very quickly getting close to that point where he'll be able to really counteract a lot of Rumble's damage.
Look at the discrepancy, though. Mowgli about to Flame Horizon Aikado with a 2-level lead. We said that he wasn't too far behind earlier, but now 3-level lead make it 14 to 11. Mowgli is an absolute monster in these team fights. You saw how much damage he did with collateral damage and just autos down for 30% of Himana's HP bar.
But at the same time, if you look at this Vel'Koz in the mid lane, not quite 100 CS up, but 50 CS up over this Galio, with the full Haunting guys, with or Leandri's Torment, and with Morellonomicon and Sork Boots, this Vel'Koz will be able to put out a lot of damage from a relatively long range.
Yeah. It's really just gonna be if they can get somebody onto Renji or onto General Vici so that a Dramtor can get the ult in and Mowgli can just blow them up with the collateral damage. That's gonna be the win condition for United as one, really. But it's really hard for them to do so because King Nobody's really the only effective dive power, and Mowgli now getting Righteous Gloried onto from Slappy. You're gonna look for the beast, he can't get it, and he's gonna get jumped on by a Dramtor. There's the equalizer coming down. Slappy's burning away. Dazzle will stun up multiple members, but Slappy will finally get focused down. Cosmic Radiance, and there's Aikado in the back line. Lifeborn Disintegration Ray. They shut down Mowgli. Himana now backing away. The Flame Chomper's doing a good zoning job. It will be a 1-for-1. High Summoner 420 has to rocket jump out. The Dazzle will land, and King Nobody goes down, making it a 2-for-1. Nice re-engage from Aikado there. Gets into the backline, cataclysms onto Mowgli, keeps him in place for Renji to melt him with the Lifeform Disintegration Ray.
However, since they have an additional member on the map, they can start pushing up in the mid lane. This is going to help them maybe take down this tower, start to equalize some of that gold.
What? High Summoner 420 Rocket Jump has to flash away! What in the world are you doing? Okay.
Yeah.
What an interesting play.
But yeah, like I was saying, because they had that extra member, they were able to go up. They were able to take that tower. This gold lead is only at about 1,500 now. For Stand United or
United is one.
United is one. And so slowly that lead they built is kind of dwindling. Taric has finished his Locket of the Iron Solari. That's going to really cut Rumble's damage.
Granted, King Nobody also has a Locket of the Iron Solari. It can arguably do the same thing to Renji's damage with the Lifeform Disintegration Ray, but quite nearly that ultimate does significantly more damage to than the Equalizer as the game goes on and he starts to build up AP, gets that increased AP ratio, or the AP ratio to increase the true damage coming out of the Vel'Koz passive.
But that shield will also have to be dealing with the Jinx damage. She is almost 3 items, and as you can tell, she has the Runaan's Hurricane, which has a very unique interaction with her rocket. So she's sending 3 AoE damage rockets.
Ooh, the Cataclysm onto a Dramtor. Dramtor just pops the taunt, trying to stop some damage off. General Vici takes about a good chunk of his damage off, and now a Dramtor gonna Justice Punch in. General Vici flashes away over the side. Renji using the Lifeform Disintegration Ray, but he's in the middle of United is one. Taunts it up! High Summoner 420, he's got his own stopwatch. The Equalizer coming down, and Renji will survive for just a little bit. A Dramtor flashes onto him. He's gonna shoot the Plasma Fish in the wrong way, but he survives! Dazzle onto a Dramtor. General Vici unloading with the crits. Himana gets the kill, and it's gonna mean to get excited. Collateral damage from Mowgli is not enough, and nobody falls down. Mowgli now getting chased away. Aikado has to get out of there. The crit's coming out. Himana misses the dazzle after the flash. It's a 3-4-0 in favor of Apache.
I'm just amazed that Renji stayed alive, and I think so much of that is owing to this Taric. He was able to just constantly auto attack the Galio, constantly refreshing his Q.
Heal stacks, yeah.
So, and because of how somewhat sporadic AP Galio's damage can be, able to make sure that Vel'Koz was able to make it out of that fight alive.
Really nice fight from Apache. General Vici knew he had to flash away from the Galio. Even when they catch the Galio, you have to do that. I think you have to make that flash because Adrantor was about to taunt him. He was on the side of the fight where the rest of United as One were barreling down the river. And he's able to unload out some continuous damage. And yeah, really nice by to keep Renji alive there after he stopwatched.
Yeah, incredibly intelligent use of stopwatch as well, making sure that the Taric would be there to support him once he came out of that stasis.
Apache now moving towards that Baron area with 5. Spotted out on a ward as well as that minion wave coming down the mid lane, and are they going to start it? They do have the feast to secure it if they need to, but they know there's no vision. That blue trinket will know that they're not doing Baron yet, but King Nobody is about to face check into 5 members, and there he goes. It's going to be a quick kill for Apache.
He only has Locket of the Iron Solari, which is great in team fights, but it doesn't have too many individual tank stats itself, especially it's got a lot more MR than armor.
Righteous Glory, they're gonna dazzle, they flash away, rocket jump away from High Summoner 420, they rocket jump him out of there, and now High Summoner 420 is out of position, he stopwatches, and he's not gonna make it out of this one. There he goes, the feast from Slappy.
Kind of on the counterpoint of what we were saying earlier about a good stopwatch to make sure you'd be
the
able
counterpoint.
That was, I would consider not necessarily a great stopwatch, because there was realistically no real way he'd be able to get out of that alive, and he just kind of burns a resource that he might have been able to use later.
So Apache now, they don't have the feast, they do have control of the Baron area, but remember, Mowgli is 2 levels up over Aikado. It means he has a much stronger smite and no feast available for Slappy. King Nobody's about to see them over the side. Mowgli is ready to go in and try and go for the miracle steal.
And that Graves has 2 complete lethality items.
Oh,
He's going to do a
Titus
lot of
getting zoned
damage.
over away over the side. Nobody has the control word in the pit, so they know. He flashes in, and there's the hero's entrance coming in through them. They're gonna get a big taunt off with the life form disintegration ray, and Nunex Titus falls. Mowgli gets in there. The Baron is secured by Aikado. Mowgli jumps over the side. It is the near ace for Apache. Whoa! High Summoner 420. Rocket jumps in, and he's gonna go down. What in the world is he doing?
That was a questionable rocket jump.
The second questionable rocket jump we've seen in this game.
Unfortunately, with most of the squishies having already backed, it was just a lot of tanks, and this Tristana does not have armor penetration at this point. I just don't think she would have realistically been able to do the damage.
Really do anything there. Not sure what the idea was behind that rocket jump.
In the actual fight, though, it was very well done with the 3-man pulverize into the Galio ultimate. However, Mowgli was not able to get into the fight while the 4-man or 5-man team was kind of piling onto a Dramtor and King Nobody. Graves was just kind of sitting on top of the blast cone, not really finding an opportunity to start putting in some of his damage.
Yeah, he's got 2 lethality items and a mortal reminder. He can do a lot of damage, but really didn't do a whole lot in that fight at all.
He's got a 150 CS lead over
Aikado.
but
Aikado is significantly more effective in these fights when Mowgli can't really do a whole lot. Aikado has the power to engage for his team and just block them all up so that Renji can unload with them. And, you know, Mowgli, he's sort of not really made use of this lead.
And that's one of the things that we were talking about now, whereas earlier, United as one was able to really push up a lot. They had a lot of pressure, but they had a timer. Apache has started to take the lead. They have the Baron buff. They're the ones who are really knocking down these towers.
They are about to even up the tower. That is a gigantic Baron wave. Holy, that is 5 towers to 5 and a 3.5k gold lead in favor of Apache. They zap onto one, the teleport coming in. That's a rupture onto King Nobody. Dazzle not going to be found. He uses the Unbreakable Will. The Cosmic Radiance comes through. They're all invulnerable, and now they want to focus down the inhibitor. General Vici has to back away now with the invulnerability wearing off. It will be Apache picking up the inhibitor. Mowgli off to the side. They're going to look for him. Flag and Drag comes out. Aikado can't get in with the Cataclysm.
King Nobody was forced to use the
Dazzle
ult ray.
lands on the Mowgli. They're looking for him. The hero's entrance comes in. Slappy flashes, but the stopwatch comes through. He can't feast. They've got on the General Vici, and High Summoner 420. Buster shuts him out. They're going to get the shutdown onto Renji. Now Unex Titus burning onto Slappy, and Slappy will fall. Now Apache lost 2 for 0. Teleport from a Dramtor behind the members of Apache. And then Himana and General Vici will split. Himana's trying to use the Baron-empowered recall, but he will not find it. The Electro Harpoon stops him, and Himana will fall. General Vici and Aikado, they've got a massive defense to hold up against 5 members of United as one.
Incredibly intelligent, though, by Himana and General Vici for splitting up, because they would only be able to chase one of the 2. So the Jinx is still alive and is able to help defend these Nexus turrets.
Yeah, Aikado, the taunt's not going to land from a Dramtor. The one Nexus Tower is for sure going to fall for United as one. Apache, they go in. Aikado with the multi-man flag and drag, but General Vici's untouched in the fight. Multi-man crits. The Nexus Tower's down. A Dramtor is going to try and do it again. King Nobody's looking for it. Life Form disintegration rate. Mowgli's down. Equalizer comes across. They feast onto him. Triple kill for Renji. A Dramtor's on the run. United as one are not able to end the game here.
The Equalizer really hit no one. That's another thing. If you can't hit anyone with the Equalizer...
Whoa, Slappy teleported into the base! He's gonna get one Nexus Tower. The Demolish is gonna come through. They've got one of them. Now Renji is super low, but he's not able to go down. Slappy looking for the last one. They've got a super minion wave coming in. Slappy He's pretty slow at taking this one, but
Just slapping it down.
yeah, Unix side is still down. 3 more seconds. King Nobody coming up. Then a Drantor coming through here. The Justice Punch gonna come through. Double taunt into the double knockup from King Nobody. The Cataclysm comes out. The Cataclysm flag and drag. Slappy's stunned up. He's gonna use the Randuin's Omen to get himself out of there. Slow's coming in, but King Nobody rocket jumps forward. They taunt him back up. Dazzle comes out. Slappy running for his life. King Nobody messes up the combo of General Vici, but he will find Slappy. Now General Vici has to back away.
So, at the end of it all, we end up with 4 people on Apache right now, and 5 holding strong for United as 1.
I kind of betrayed Slappy there with the Cataclysm, and he flag and drags out, and Slappy's like, wait, guys, let me out of here.
Well, what's kind of sad actually is they might have actually been able to catch General Vici as well, but King Nobody, as you said, screwed up the combo, actually knocking him to safety and allowing him to deal more damage from range.
Yeah. So Apache, the double Infernal goes over to United as 1. That helps a little bit as far as their scaling goes, but they are still significantly behind in terms of who's winning the fights, but the gold is so close. 1.5k gold. 1 Nexus Tower for United is 1, 0 for Apache.
8 towers down for each team.
Holy cow. This next fight will determine the game if it's decisive one way or the other. A Drantor gonna pick up his own blue buff. And now you see both of the tanks on the side of Apache have adaptive helms that goes a long way towards negating more and more of Unax Titus's damage, negating the Leandries, negating the Equalizer, negating the Flame Spitter. The Leandries on a Drantor as well as the Winds of War doing multiple ticks of damage. They're really just bulking up, and there's not going to be enough damage unless High Summoner 420 can stop rocket jumping into the middle of the enemy team and actually kill somebody.
No flame.
Got Una X Titus in the bottom lane, ready to flame spitter down that super minion wave about to stream in. Apache are just keeping the super minions out of their base from the mid lane. Red buff handed off to General Vici.
So this, looking at kind of what Alistar is building towards, he's built a Negatron cloak, which could possibly be building towards Stone Plate.
Oh.
However, he does just have so much MR to try and deal with this Vel'Koz. But I almost feel at the expense of dealing with the damage that this Jinx is putting out.
Yeah. And I mean, Jinx at this point is nigh unstoppable. The only thing is she doesn't have a Last Whisper, but what does that matter when there's absolutely no armor built on this? Not absolutely, I'm exaggerating, but a lot. A very little armor built on the side of United is 1. They've got Renji in the top lane. This could be the pick if United is 1 see him there.
This is
But the Baron is about to be started up. There it is. United is 1. Unix Tide is teleporting in. They're on the Baron now. Is he going to be spotted out there? And there it is. It goes down in favor of United is 1. But Aikado's in the back there. Equalizer comes down. The hero's entrance comes through. Reggie, Lifeborn Disintegration Ray, but a Drantor interrupts it immediately. General Vici trying to auto attack, but he's exhausted. He has to flash away from the members. United is 1. Himana trying to dazzle them all up. General Vici blast comes over to the wrong side of the wall. He can't do any more damage, and Himana is likely going to fall. Zap comes through. Unix Titus is overheating now. King Nobody's gonna go down. A Drantor gets onto General Vici. QSS comes out, and the stopwatch. There's the Zanyas, rather, the Flame Choppers, and he will go down. General Vici actually almost ties the Winds of War. King Nobody's so low. Slappy coming around.
Yeah, if you see,
Oh, but look at Mowgli. Mowgli trying to clear out the inhibitor because there's no Nexus Tower. If he gets this in here, that's a lot of pressure for on Apache. Slappy trying to keep him away. Unix Titus will cover his escape with the Electro Harpoon, but the Rupture lands. Now General Vici crits him down. Ooh. There he goes. The GA falls, and it's going to be an easy kill onto Mowgli. Beast.
I think with a Dramtor trying to duel the Jinx like that at this point in the game, this Galio is so squishy, and Jinx has already started to build some lifesteal, which is built into the Mercurial Scimitar.
And a third Zeal item. Rather than the Last Whisper, because of the lack of armor on the side of United is one. He says, I need more attack speed. Let me just hyper carry these fights.
Well, and because of the attack speed advantage that Jinx has over Galio, she doesn't even have to switch into rocket form. Throughout that fight, she was using a lot of damage in Pow Pow the minigun, which is the one that scales so crazily with attack speed. I believe at max rank now, getting 110.
I think it's 130 actually. 130% bonus attack speed. It is one Elder Dragon spawning, and then we're gonna have Unex Titus is in the bottom lane. Mowgli now popping back up, coming out of the base. The inhibitor respawned in the bottom lane for United is one. Inhibitor down for Apache in the mid. Basil secure Scuttle Crab, but King Nobody goes in with the combo. Adramtor looking for the Justice Punch. And there goes the Cosmic Radiance, and now United's one might have overstepped, and Apache all jump on it! A Slappy goes in with a Rupture, the Equalizer comes down, cuts off the corridor. Adramtor is going to be the first kill of the fight. No, it's Himana! Live from Disintegration Ray, no more abilities to disengage that one. They get the kill. It's a double for General Vici. The Zap misses. United Titus gets the Summoner Hero from High Summoner 420. He's going to turn around and auto attack. And Apache, they get a quick 2 kills onto Adramtor and King Nobody.
Once again, look who's pretty much untouched at the end of that fight.
Uh-oh, but General Vici looking for the duel onto High Summoner 420, but the Buster Shot and the Explosive Shot! General Vici falls down! Okay, so, as you were saying, untouched in the middle of the fight.
But
goes
then
for
takes a 1v1 with the Tristana. Yeah, and one thing, so Jinx, because of the way her passive with her Q works up, it builds up, so you kind of need some time in order for your passive on your Q to rev up. Similar to the way that Tristana works with, you need to constantly shoot to be able to charge up the explosive shot. But because of the CC that Tristana can bring with her Buster Shot, it just helps her to get the leg up in the 1v1 against the Jinx. Also, before that fight, Jinx had not yet had the Static Shiv, and Static Shiv helps bring so much burst damage, so Tristana had that little bit of advantage in that regard.
Oh. So, Apache, Elder Dragons, whoa, that was weird. That looked weird to me. That looked weird. Justice punched out of the Dragon Pit as the dragon knocked him out. Alright, so the Elder Dragon started up by Apache. It will be empowering one Ocean and one Infernal if they secure it. Mowgli looking for it over the side. Now, gonna be very close. The Flame Choppers will zone away United's one. Mowgli gets in there, but he goes for the Elder Dragon. He doesn't go for the easy kill on Renji. I think he could have just blown Renji to bits right there. Renji was against the wall right up next to Mowgli, but he goes for the Elder Dragon, doesn't get it, and instead they just walk away.
You also have to, potentially, though, he made the right decision because Renji does have the Zhonya's Hourglass, which would have, if Mowgli had decided to go for that, would have put him in the attack range of the entire team. So maybe it was a better decision to not bait himself.
He was already in the attack range of the enemy team. Just Apache, they wanted the Elder Dragon and they get out. United as one don't want the fight either, especially not after the Elder Dragon falls for Apache. But if we could see it again, I wish we could. But
yeah.
Mowgli was literally like a Teemo away from Renji, while Renji was stacked up against the wall. Mowgli, all it probably would have been was a Q and an ultimate, and Renji would have died instantly if he didn't Zhonya's fast enough.
Potentially this, if you set out a win condition for yourself, such as pick a very dominant early game and try and win early, but then it doesn't work, sometimes maybe gets in your head and throws off your mental.
And now it's finally the Flame Horizon for Renji over Adramtor.
And then almost a double Flame Horizon.
Mowgli is doubling Ikuto's CS, but it's getting to the point where it almost doesn't matter. Ikuto is 1.5 items away from full build, so I guess it does kind of matter, but...
And, well, I'm just wondering if the Graves is the right place for them to really...
have focused all of their resources.
To put their resources, because if you're going to go for a full AP Galio, then you really need to try and put as much AP on that Galio as you can. So, he only has 212 CS at 44 minutes into the game. Maybe put him on a side lane and let him get more CS. Same with Rumble. Or even Tristana. Because of how safe Tristana can be, she's one of the few ADs who can realistically be on a side lane, albeit with a little bit of support, such as a jungler maybe shadowing her in the jungle.
It's really starting to hurt because you see that Adrantor actually is the one suffering for it because he's level 16 compared to the level 18 on Renji, and those levels really do matter. Of course, if everyone gets to level 18, it doesn't matter, but, at this point, it really does. Adrantor's missing out a lot of base stats, a lot of the base damage from leveling up his abilities.
He does, however, have that level 3 on his ultimate ability, which will give him increased range on that.
United is one. They're actually about to rush on the mid lane because Apache made a push towards that Baron. Now they're stuck in a corridor against a Rumble. They do manage to get themselves out back towards the lane, so they will not be fighting in a bad spot against it.
Oh, one
Everyone
thing.
So hesitant to start this fight.
Well, I think that this Rumble also is feeling a little hesitant to throw out his abilities because not only does this Taric have Locket Up the Iron Solari, but look at what Cho'Gath has picked up as well.
Word. Stone Plate plus Locket can be a huge shield. We saw that from the Zac from Shaq Daddy last game. He picked up a Locket, and we saw a gigantic shield onto the Orianna, and Apache are the ones who started the Baron. There's a Controlled and the Pit for United's one, so they do know when it's coming down, the Equalizer coming down on top of Apache. But again, it's doing very little damage. The Cosmic Radiant's about to be popped. It is going to land now, but United is one backed away nicely. Now the invulnerability is off, and General Vici gets a crit down from High Summoner 420. And now the Righteous Glory King, nobody with the flank, but he's out of position. They flash onto him, the Cataclysm comes out, and now the Hero's Entrance is going to be used onto the back line, but it's on nobody! They don't find the Hero's Entrance onto anybody. King Nobody not going to focus down by Apache. Now the Lightborn Disintegration Ray, High Summoner 420 has to rocket jump out. Kato goes in the back line. Mowgli is exhausted as he comes in. The Guardian Angel pop. Adrantor flashes for a good 3-man top, but they don't have the damage. Renji going to fall. They get the kill. There's the rocket jump reset for High Summoner 420. He rocket jumps in. The Zap slows up Unix Titus. Now, General Vici trying to kite out a Adrantor. Himana coming around the side. A big wave pushing for Apache in the top lane.
So yeah, despite how many defensive abilities that Apache has, I feel like they kind of misplayed them. The Taric ultimate really, in my opinion, didn't do much. Despite how badly United is one also misplayed with, say,
he's
Galio.
running for it. The Buster Shot will stop that one. Yeah, so Adrantor ulted nobody there, and I don't mean King Nobody, I mean he actually ulted nobody there. Oh, the Flash Dazzle! Mowgli gets caught near the Baron, and Himana will survive. Apache with Slappy's ultimate and Aikata respawning now.
A 60-second respawn timer, and not only that, that's the majority of the gold. Like, their gold right now is exactly equal, but so much of that gold is on this Graves. If you don't have that, you just generally have weaker players in the game.
You don't have the damage, yeah. And now Apache are going to pick up the Baron. Absolutely zero problem. General Vici's got the DPS, and they've got the Feast from Slappy to secure.
Right now, it seems like Apache's deciding to just try and run it up mid lane. They do have for another 15 seconds
without Mowgli on the map.
But Taric is also quite a ways away.
Yeah. On his way in, the Baron buff minions are going to be doing some damage onto that tower, and they're actually just going to give it up. United's one are going to give it away, and the inhibitor will be quick to follow. Apache are just going to pick that one up, maybe rotate to the bot lane. They are going to go for that one, but United's one, they're all up now. Aikado trying to keep some space for his lanes to back away. United is one. They have a split on the side of Apache, but Apache will back off nicely. Don't want to overstay their welcome. They do have a Baron buff wave to empower onto that bottom side. Big wave starting to push for United is one in the top lane. 1.6k gold separates the two teams, but at this point, I'm not sure if the gold discrepancy matters.
With everyone almost at full build, the Tristana's at full build. This Galio's not quite, but
Oh, there's
he's
the
close.
equalizer. Apache gonna get jumped on here. There's a big locket shield coming out from Slappy, and United won't say, I don't want any of that. Right, so that was the equalizer invested there for just Apache backing off for a half a second more. Apache looking for the last bit of it, though Inhibitor is going to be the focus. Now King Nobody is a little bit out of position. He's slowed up. He's getting caught. The zap comes through. He has to go back in. And there's the Cosmic Radiance. They get the hero's entrance in, but they've got all of the Cosmic Radiance. Gaia Drivator goes down, and this is going to be it. And King Mowgli melts at the side of the Life Form Disintegration Ray. It's going to be the double kill for General Vici, and Apache will go undefeated into Week 5.
Yeah, I feel like the stand as one or United as one just simply could not play to their win conditions. At the end, their Galio was deleted when he was able to heroic entrance into that fight. They simply did not have the tank stats to be able to stand up to the hyper carry that General Vici and Renji provided.
Yeah, General Vici ending that game, what is it? 10-2-17. Renji 12-3-15. The mid lane and ADC carries on the side of Apache just going absolutely massive against United as one in a 50-minute game. And so, that will be Apache going into Week 5 against Sky Zero undefeated 4-0. However, that will still mean that Sky Zero, if they are able to clinch the series over Apache, they will still retain possession of first place due to the tiebreaker rule. But that is going to be it for us tonight. 5 Diamond Cap games here. I'm Alex Agent822. I'd like to thank Riley, Seegers, Funky Mama, Seegers for coming out and casting with us today. Without Benjamin Beniona Morales here, and if for those of you who are watching, just casted 5 games with me, and I think he did an amazing job.
Thank you.
So, we will be seeing as often as possible if we can try out other casters, but do expect to see Benjamin back here tomorrow, next weekend, if all goes according to plan. But that'll be it for us tonight. Thank you all so much for watching, and we hope to see you tomorrow for the Diamond Cap stream at 6 o'clock. Have a good evening.